And we're live from the bunker in the woods from an undisclosed location. It's your Emperor Phi, bringing you the latest and greatest hits. I think you kids know what time it is, but just in case you don't know,
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
that's right, Rebecca. It's Friday, and you kids know what that means. It means it's time for the ultimate showdown between Based Oracle and Andrew Wilson. So we actually got some news coming up here in a minute. Based Oracle, as always, is late as fuck, and so he's at a barbecue or something, just hanging out with friends or whatever, or at least pretending. I don't think he has friends in real life, but so he's going to be about 30 minutes late. And so the first bad news is I only got 50% confirmation on this debate tonight, so it's quite possible that one of the parties will not be showing up to exchange pleasantries and whatnot. So we'll all have a moment of silence for that. Yeah, no. Base Oracle's always on time. He's on wizard time, and so in about 30 minutes, Based Oracle's gonna jump in. We're still gonna have our little roast tonight, but we got some bad news actually because well, let me go ahead and break down what happened here. Kind of goes like this. Mm, doop, blip.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
That's right. You heard it here first. So once again, your buddy Phi, Emperor Phi to you plebs, has pulled off the miracle, and I got Andrew Wilson and Based Oracle to finally agree to quit being bitches and to meet up and have their little debate. Except it's not going to be here in Conservataria because everyone knows this would be way more entertaining if they did it here. But instead, once again, Mr. Wilson's trying to steal my thunder. He's always trying to steal my clout. And he went with his number one clout stealer, Sarah, the Raging Tomato. So she's always stealing my one viewer. And so now tomorrow, Andrew Wilson is going to really debate Based Oracle on Sarah, the Raging Tomatoes channel. And so if you guys want to see that debate, you can hop on over there and finally see what all the fuss was about. Personally, I think it's just going to be a couple of whiny bitches going at it, but we'll see. We'll see. You never know. In the meantime, we got plenty of time for some dank memes, some roasting of chicken shit, yellow belly pussies, which was what this stream was originally scheduled for. But as always, they always got to fuck shit up, and he fucked it up by announcing he's going to debate tomorrow just to try and steal my clout. But we're not going to let him win. So if we let Andrew win, the terrorists have won. So what we're going to do is go ahead and proceed with tonight's regularly scheduled meme roasting. And so like I said, Based Oracle will show up a little bit later, share his thoughts and feelings. In the meantime, I'm just going to be going through like old fun clips of the good times I had with Mr. Wilson, and we can talk about what our predictions are for tomorrow's debate. I don't know the exact details on it. I don't know exactly what time it is or whatever. You'll have to check her channel to find that shit out. And maybe she'll stop by here. If Sarah comes by here, I might allow her on panel, even though she's stealing my clout as always. The fame whore that she is. And so we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of in a bad mood, but I'm kind of in a good mood. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So anyways, tonight's roast will begin with some oldies but goodies. So let's go through all the oldies but goodies. for those of y'all who haven't checked out the original, let me just show you where that happened. So if you go to my little channel selector and you go to videos, there's one called Authoritarians Come Out of the Closet. That was a fun one. I think that was the one where I kind of formally was introduced to Andrew. I think I met him like one time before on a previous.
Play it later. I don't have time or voice.
Yeah, that's me. There's Sharkeisha. And boy, was my voice fucked. And it's still fucked. Nothing has changed. It's all the same shit all over again. Anyways, I think this was the first official, exchange I had with Emperor Beard McIrish Smokey. I think the first time I met him was on a separate VK where he was kind of incognito because he loves people always being on cam because scared bitches have to use icons, right, Andrew? And so I think he was like asking me about like jerking off to kids or something like that. It's one of his favorite topics, but it was the same old libertarian shtick. I'm always, advertising libertarian stuff. And he came in there all, alpha chat about how Big Daddy government has to, wipe his ass for him and shit like that. We had a meme exchange. It wasn't anything fun or interesting, but that was the first time we had a throwdown. And then the next time he came back, he was more prepared, with all of his little gotchas and blood sports and fallacy talk and all that stuff. And so after that, it kind of fizzled out, because I thought he was gonna bring the pain, but instead all he's good at is bitching that shit. Like people who actually have solutions and have standards and stick to them and stuff like that. That's all he has. Is just like wah. And so like every time you ask him, like okay, so if you don't like my ideas, what's your idea that's better? And he never actually has a response for that. So fuck us for asking. So anyways, good news for Andrew. If you checked out my last video, I conceded full surrender and defeat. And so Big Daddy government, the little whiny bitches that love authoritarian governments have won. So Dave Smith pulled out of the Libertarian Party. So, and you saw that wonderful debate with Andrew on how he's so much more based than libertarians. And then they had some little girly exchange after that about how they hate feminism or something like that, which had fuck all to do with libertarians versus conservatives or whatever. But I didn't expect anyone to actually accomplish anything. Again, I think Dave Smith was just like lobbing him softballs so that he didn't feel so bad for wrecking him on his own platform or whatever. So anywho, long story short, libertarianism dead. You can catch my next stream for that because that will be my final politics stream. So I'm completely done with politics. I'm not going to debate anymore. I'm not going to defend libertarians or explain for the billionth fucking time to retards like Andrew the difference between anarchists and libertarians because he still doesn't know the difference. I bet you if you asked him right now, he still wouldn't know the difference between those two. So good luck trying to educate these retards on what the meaning of words are. So I'm done. I've used up all my energy and strength or fucks to give. And so my next stream is going to be the death of libertarianism. So be sure to chime in for that one. I might give some honorable mentions to Andrew for, putting the final nails in that coffin. But I'm kind of done with Andrew personally. I mean, this roast stream was just like my final outro for Mr. Wilson. So until people start showing up, I'm just gonna play some clips of the wonderful times we had together. So let's start with this one. Let's see what Mr. Wilson has to say. Oh, by the way, if you haven't checked out Glenn and Friends, that was the last exchange I had with Mr. Wilson. So I think that went well because it led to my next video called "You Win, I Can't Compete, I Surrender." And so let's see what led up to that. What was a fun one we had? It's Friday.
Great So we slated him. We did the entire thing, but it was because he was patient. Like he didn't. He
So here's an example of one of the many victims of Mr. Wilson's campaign to destroy all open discussion and meaningful exchange on the panelverse. So this panel, I believe, was being hosted by Grid One Motorsports. As you can see, Glenn Lawrence was also present, and our buddy Jake from VO Pod was also there. Josie was just collateral damage. She didn't really have anything to do with this exchange. But anyways, this was kind of the beginning of the end, where like they started getting into their little tribal camps and started sucking cocks like it's going out of style. And so apparently the cult was in. I already knew Andrew had a cult, but I didn't understand how far his cult stretched. And so the Kool-Aid drinking has gotten way out of hand to the point where like no one can talk about anything without him fucking shit up. And so anyways, Grid One, rest in peace. What is this clickbait? Flow State, we're talking about important stuff. Don't worry. It's very professional and serious debate between Andrew Wilson and Based Oracle, which got rescheduled to tomorrow on Tomatoes panel because even Andrew will come through every once in a while and do his own memes. But anyways, we're still gonna do the stream because did you see my short iFi? I saw something where you were watching My Shed or something. That was, if that's what you're referring to. Did y'all ever figure out, with your review panels, what's going on here? Because Machine Lies, come on up, buddy. Can you hop on camera real quick just to make sure you're the real Machine Lies? Because I don't want to get this one formed, but there he is, brother from another mother. All right, brother. So anyways, so like I was saying, rest in peace, Grid One. Rest in peace, Glenn Lawrence. Rest in peace, Jake from VO Pod. And anyone else who got caught up in the cult of Andrew Wilson, because apparently he's such a wonderful, heroic saint that we should all get behind him no matter what. And fuck all the haters and fuck all logic and reason and standards. We got to get behind this guy because he's gonna save our country or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, what up, Machine Lies? You got any thoughts or feelings so far before we? Based is going to come in here in a minute, but he's probably just going to reiterate the same old shit we've done before about what a pussy Andrew is, and he's probably going to save all the hot, juicy stuff for tomorrow's debate, which, like I said, happened because of yours truly. I mean, everyone knows Andrew would not have rescheduled any kind of debate or given him any sort of response if it wasn't for this particular roasting and faux debate. So you guys are welcome, by the way. You're welcome once again. Fi coming in. So Machine Lice, what's your thoughts and feelings, bro?
Well, I just think it was interesting the growth that Base Oracle took on just from having a faux debate. So I just thought that was rather interesting because like when I actually physically went on the Crucible to debate Andrew Wilson, I didn't gain a lot of credence. And at that time, actually the channel The Crucible was smaller than Made by Jim Bob. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it was not even well known at all. So yeah, it's interesting that now just a feigned debate with Andrew Wilson will then cause all of these interactions to form. Which is interesting because like some of these guys like I don't really know, like VO Pod and some of these guys, Speak Easy definitely.
Oh, he started all this shit. We'll go back to the origins of all, but including the times where Based, Oracle, and Fi and Andrew Wilson all appeared on the same panel, and we were all friends, just chuckling about how much we love each other and braiding each other's hair.
What's weird about it is that none of these dudes were here like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Like me and Brown's boy were just talking to each other like 3 months ago. We never seen any of these people. So it's very weird how they all just sort of showed up. Even this French lady. Like, who is
Oh
this
yeah,
French
Josie.
lady?
She just recently
Yeah,
popped.
like it's crazy. Like, I was watching her show today, and I was looking at some of her art and some of her videos, and man, she got put on like huge. Like, she got put on some huge shows. Like, she has fucking huge, like like collaborations and things. She has like very glossy, like produced content. Like, it came out of like a cheesy magazine,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm like,
I
how
think I
the
think
fuck
what
did
you're
I get?
referring to is the blood sports effect. It's definitely the quickest and easiest way to clickbait your way into some solid subscriber numbers, and so
Yeah,
definitely
they
if you
got
get someone they've heard of like Andrew Wilson, and Andrew
yeah,
Wilson's been on Destiny, and Destiny's been on this debate and blah 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 blah, and so it kind of blew my mind that Andrew Wilson was able to get like Dave Smith to respond. That kind of fucked me up because I was like, what? I was like, and we saw what happened in that dumpster fire of a train wreck. So for better or worse, he was able to get Dave Smith's attention. Probably not a good attention, but he would probably consider all publicity good publicity because it's just more clicks and viewers and subs and whatnot. But I know what you're saying. It's like like you said, 3 months ago, you never heard of any of these people, and all of a sudden, all these people got like mainstream channels running. And shit. So it's like, you know, um, I think it's a lot of hype and very little substance, which I completely agree with. Based on that, sometimes a lot of these people will suddenly go viral or blow up or whatever, but then like 2 weeks later you're like, okay bro, you got my attention, what are we going to talk about? And then you find out it's just a evil retard or something. He's like has nothing to say and no message, no substance, no values, no standards, nothing. And so all he can do is just keep like drumming up attention with his like blood sport skills or whatever and stuff like that. So now that I've kind of ridden through the waves with everybody, I kind of see his point of view now. Because before I was like, I had no idea why Pace was like so honed in on this dude. Like I'm gonna prove him as a grifter and whatever. And I was like, I always saw Andrew as kind of like a mid tier, just clickbaiter or whatever. But I didn't really see him as like a hardcore grifter. Like I didn't see like like just doing evil shit on the side, meanwhile preaching the message or whatever. And so you base
What up? What up?
just making sure that I'm not gonna get porn bombed. If anyone tries to porn bomb me on the stream, I will find you and fuck you up. Anyways,
What up? What up, machine?
yeah, hey.
what's going on?
So go ahead and chime in based on how we've evolved and learned more about Mr. Wilson as time has passed, including the reschedule to tomorrow's actual debate instead of trying to sit here and roast him tonight, which we were going to do and have lots of fun. See,
Well, we're still gonna do it. We're still gonna have lots of fun, but the most fun will be tomorrow, perhaps.
Whee!
So I say perhaps because I don't want to get too much into the backstage. He said, she said, but point is, as of right now, Andrew has reached out, and it's funny how many times he has said, "This is your last chance, Based Oracle." I think this is my 4th or 5th last chance. But with that said, once again on another last chance, Andrew reaches out, and apparently my shit talk memes or whatever have gotten to him. Certainly wasn't part of my plan.
Like you have
And
plans.
yeah, no, I winged everything.
Do I look like a guy with a plan? That's what. Hello, Joker.
So as of now, the debate is on for tomorrow. It looks like we're going to be doing, somewhat formal rules, 4-minute intros. I don't remember the rest, but anyways, looking forward to it. And with that said, machine, I've been listening for a few. I don't think, and there's no way for me to know, but I don't think I've gotten any clout or any notable subscribers based on my beef with Andrew. I mean,
Really?
I may have, but most of what I do
I'm talking about the watchers. Like, for example, like we would have like 10 people watching us, and now we got like maybe 30 or 40 people watching us. The thing is that and then most of those people aren't commenting, so you gotta take into account that a lot of them are hate watching or trying to see what you're talking shit or recording that shit or I
Sure.
get those people all the time because there's like I'll notice like there's 3 motherfuckers chatting on my shit and then
Yeah.
there's like 40 people watching the shit. It's like, who are these creepos?
Yeah.
Then,
No, I got you.
so
Yeah,
like I
no, I'm
think
not saying I haven't gotten any, but it's not like it's been some clout ride.
yeah,
Nor have I asked
clout,
for
but
that.
it's not clout, but it's eyeballs. You
Yeah,
know what I
no,
mean?
I got you. Yeah. No, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't think it's been very significant, but I could be wrong.
Stop gatekeeping based. Just let the
Well,
man
it's
have an opinion.
well, it's
All right.
effective. It's effective. It's anti-clout. Where it's like, hey, look, like, like let me just create a conflict, and then everybody that hates this guy will just have them watch the show, and then some people that love him too much will watch me too. Ain't nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that. You know what I'm saying?
By the
It's
way,
talking about-
speaking of gatekeeping based, one more time, I'm going to explain a compliment to you, and you're going to accept it, or I'm going to boot you off the panel. All right. So the other day, I was trying to give you a compliment.
Don't
but you're
threaten me
so-
with a good time.
Yeah. You're so retarded that you started getting angry at me, started arguing with me. I never said you're a gatekeeper or whatever. And of course, GS was in the room, but we won't talk about the war anymore. But anyways,
I was trolling you, man.
so anyways, all I was saying is that when the day comes that your Emperor Phi slips up and doesn't live up to his own standards, I am counting on you to be the first man to point out to me that I have done wrong, and I welcome. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm saying I
Yeah.
actually look forward to that day because that's your fucking job is to tell us when we done goofed, and so.
Hey, and me as well. I think that us holding each other
Hey, Neural Jack,
accountable
put my camera real quick because I can let you up. I can't. I gotta make sure.
is a good
Okay.
thing. That's what men should be doing, is holding each other accountable.
I mean, it may have sounded sleazy, but the thing about it is that I was actually given props because with me, like I've said this since day one, like infamy is as good as fame on here.
Yeah.
Like if people hate you, it's just as good as like look at all the people that literally became law cows on purpose.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
if
like-
your message is like peace, love, recycle, then you can't really be the bad cop though. So you got to maintain your role properly. I think
Well,
it's the base point.
I kind of came in on the tail end of whatever point you
What's
guys
up,
were
girl?
talking about. What's up? So I don't know exactly what you're referring to,
But
but
we're talking about standards. Should men have them? Yes or no? And should we call out each other when someone drops the ball? Yes or no?
well, here, I think it depends on your goal. Like, are we trying to make all of humanity moral, or are we trying to make a very small segment of our people more moral and more protected from the rest of the world, which isn't? I mean, those are two very different strategies that you have to employ.
I'll
in my
tell you
opinion.
what my goal is and see if anyone agrees. I'm trying to turn all the evil retards into good and intelligent people. So if we got to do that by shaming people or calling out their bullshit or enforcing standards, preaching standards, I don't give a fuck. We're going to do it either the hard way or the easy way.
Well, I would look more at the actions of, for instance, de-incentivizing evil retards from being evil retards rather than the end result, right? The end goal of we don't want people to be evil retards.
And to add an addendum to that, I think part of the problem with our little tribal mentality is like you'll hear people complain about, why are we Christians always fighting each other when we're supposed to be fighting the enemy or whatever? Or why are we Republicans always fighting each other when we're supposed to be fighting the enemy? And so I think back to more of our core point, and this is why I kind of like Based Oracle, is because he doesn't give a fuck about what title you're wearing that day. He just looks for like that, universal objective standard, which is hilarious because because he ain't a Christian, but that's a whole separate debate. But anyways, he can use that Christian magic powers ability to enforce standards objectively and universally.
You're talking about Stefan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's more important to me. Like I agree with him on that point that we shouldn't get hung up in like the little, infighting with the Republicans or the Christians or whatever, but it's more like the big picture we're looking at here. And so that's why it sounds like I'm always agreeing with him because I do agree with that point.
Yeah, I do too. And I mean, look, here's the thing I was going to say really quick because I don't know how much time I'm going to.
Yeah, your mic's gonna fuck you up here in a second.
Probably.
Like
am I clear right now?
Yeah, you're clear right now. That's why I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, I actually bought a $10 iPhone mic.
For me, you
should be
should.
back.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
okay.
shit.
Yep. I'm trying to upgrade. So
for my one viewer.
Yeah.
Upgrade your brain matter, because one day it might matter. All right,
that's
go on.
right. No, that's right. So, all right.
Hurry up. Hurry up and wait.
All right, you guys go ahead for a second.
I told you you'd fuck it up. He almost got a thought. Dude, one of these days you're going to have a thought. And
fucking hi-fi. Hey, I didn't know we were on here with Andrew, Flo, Jim Bob, and Ticky Tacky.
Ooh,
and
time.
Leroy. And you.
Yep.
And Gay Ass Speakeasy, if I didn't mention him.
Yeah.
So we're watching now? Are we watching the... Oh, I see. We're watching the...
I got verbal combat in the background. Just to fill dead time. We can sit here and talk about it the whole time, but like if y'all don't have any thoughts or feelings, I'll just play some old clips, of the good times we had.
No, I do, but sorry, my a little bit busy doing some other stuff. So let me make my point very briefly. Look, here's the thing. If you want to make the whole world moral, well, trying to approach it in an honest way when people are not honest, you're going to have to show me a very strong argument that you can do such a thing. Like try being honest with people who are looking to take advantage of you. I mean, it's not going to go very well for you, right? So, I'm just saying.
Well, here's the thing.
Having said that,
yeah, go on.
Having said that, how is that going to work for Andrew if he's looking at the whole society and they're all degenerate? Now, I'm just trying to make an argument on his side. Like, if you think that the whole, of society is basically degenerate and, immoral, well, you trying to go
and then you cut out. There goes your mic, dude.
Like, if you look at it from that standpoint, all is fair in love and war if you're looking at it from a side of winning politically. Now, if we're talking about spiritually, that's a whole nother matter, right? To some degree, maybe, right? I mean, if you're trying to basically like get people interested in Christianity because it's quote unquote based and you'll get a good wife out of it. I mean, that is potentially a good marketing strategy, I guess, right? I mean, so it depends on your point of view. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying like, is that his? We don't know exactly what his goal is what I'm trying to say.
I do.
I think I got
to make more money. It's always to get more and more money. There's never enough money.
Well, but you
standards
have to say
be damned.
You kind of need money to get anything done in this economy. I mean, in this society. I mean,
yeah, but hold on. Let's not make this a false dichotomy of there's no money or there's all the money, right? Obviously, we need some money, but look, he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars, which I have zero problem with in and of itself. But what he's gaining it from, actually, you should probably wait till tomorrow.
Yeah. Don't give all the spoilers away.
Because he's watching right now.
Yeah,
what up, Andrew? Shout out to Andrew.
Hey,
what up,
Andrew.
man? Don't worry, Andrew. I'm preparing very well. No worries.
Oh, yeah. No more duplicitous backbiting, guys. I'm going to have to put that out on panel. None of that is allowed on panel tonight. So no duplicitous backbiting.
Yeah, if you're going to backbite, do so as a single entity. No duplicity.
So
please.
back to Nero's point, spiritual warriors, or what I like to call them is spiritual regulators. Mount up. So I think that's why Neurojack liked that one video I had with Andrew where we were talking about the authoritarians coming out of the closet. And so one of my favorite quotes from, I can't remember if it was him or one of his little Kool-Aid drinkers, said that the reason why they vote Republican is not to bring the country back to the right wing. It's to keep it in the left wing, but do it slower. And that shit just like blew my mind. So I was like, holy shit.
That hits home. That makes sense.
I can't believe they said the quiet part out loud because I knew that all along, but I can't believe they said that live on panel.
Yeah, but hold on, IFI. When you say you can't believe it, how much other shit is hidden in plain sight?
For reals. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and you know me, I'm always like missing shit and stuff, because like, some people say
I
a
know
lot
that's
of
why the
words.
fuck I'm here.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
shit.
That's
Well,
again.
look. Here's the thing. Okay, let me make a very strange argument that
No, make
may
a regular argument instead.
no, like let's say that you guys are correct, right? Let's say that you're
Always.
correct,
That's true.
and
100%.
and that by you saying the quiet part out loud, you're actually disrupting a chance at success that Andrew might know something that you don't.
No, he doesn't know
possible?
shit, dude. He's fucking dumb as a bag of rocks, man.
A bag
Based
of
it-
rocks, not even a box, but a bag.
Just a bag.
Okay.
You know, he's only got $5. He can't afford a box.
And you know they charge him for bags these days.
So this is the part that pisses me off. Let's talk about society real quick, fellas. It sounds like I'm really hating on Andrew Wilson, but it's not. It's not just Andrew Wilson. It's the bigger picture. It's all the Andrew Wilsons. And so back in the days when like society was completely falling apart and everyone was like, we need a savior, someone help us. And so then you had like, the Jordan Petersons and like the Ben Shapiro's and all those people coming out saying like, we're gonna stand up for right wing values or whatever and shit. I was like, wait a minute, these are like the smartest people in the room, is like Jordan Peterson or something like that. And I don't have anything personal against him. I'm just saying, like, if you actually listen to his shit, it's like really, really basic shit. Like, boys have a penis and girls have a vagina kind of shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's true, but that doesn't like make you a guru or anything. But meanwhile, like the audience is like worshiping this dude like he's the second coming or something.
Well, remember something. It's not what you say; it's how you say it.
Yeah.
Well,
So
when you say it like this, it's really appealing.
So what you're saying is you hate women. Is that what you're saying? So what you're saying is you hate women?
No,
Yeah.
you gotta say it in the right tone. You gotta say it in the right tone. Like, look, I really,
well, let's be real.
hate
Okay.
women.
So
Clean
here's
your
my
penis.
argument, though. Here's my argument, though. Look. Here's a good argument. This one's for free based, okay? And like, I actually want to see one of you guys like actually prove your case, because most of these debates I haven't seen anyone. And like, I
Prove
know
my
that
case
Andrew-
to who? Neuro? Who? To who?
Well, at least to each other, if not the audience. But look,
Well, we've been doing it all along. What the fuck do you think we've been doing
Well, let me
for
make
all
my
these
point.
streams?
Here's my point.
All right.
Here's what I would say to Andrew if I was on your side of the debate and I had to
All right.
argue for it. Here's what I would say to base. I would say, who's gotten more men laid and families created, you or Jordan Peterson? Like that's an insult, right? And that's a debate tactic that he would.
That's a
appreciate,
low
right?
blow, Neuro. You shouldn't go.
Well, here's the thing, though. There's no way to prove that without being in said bedrooms. But I get your point. I understand the sentiment. And in all fairness, it would be Jordan Peterson.
And why
Right,
are
that's
you
what
in
I'm
those
saying,
bedrooms, Neuro? Are you in
Well,
the
I
closet
am
with the camera or something? What's going on, bro?
I am a fed according to some. So.
And hold up. I want to talk to Machine for a second. You there, Machine?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I think I told you when you and I first came across each other, whatever, but I went back and watched one of the debates with you and Andrew. And I remember you were smoking a blunt. I think you were smoking a blunt. And it was funny. It was you were in a character, and I think you even mentioned that at one point. But I
Yeah.
thought that was a very good debate in ways. I'm sure Andrew would disagree. He'd probably be like, Machine Lies was no competition, and he was a retard, and he was smoking weed. But meanwhile, I thought you did a good job, considering that in context, it seemed to me that this was probably one of your first bigger debates in a sense, or at least debating somebody like Andrew. I don't mean as good as him, but I at least mean in his style of dirty debating blood sport.
Okay, for a second. Diabolical Diablo left, probably a porn bomber. So thanks for trying, bro. Try to be more
So-
creative.
What's the name?
So with that said, Machine, I wanted to ask you,
Diabolical Diablo.
for you, this isn't really for me, even though I'm asking you, but after you debated him, when you looked back, what did you wish that you had done differently, or what would you have done differently for the next time?
Yeah, it's interesting that you asked that because I just actually rewatched some of it this morning. You
Oh
know,
shit.
so
Okay.
yeah, so really, I mean, what I would really say is that one of the things that I wish I would have done more differently was, I guess, less direct responses to what he was saying.
Hmm.
I noticed later that, and this is partly the style of where I was going with it because not a lot of people knew my position. In your
Yeah.
case, it's going to be a lot different because you're not going to have to explain your position at all. It's pretty self-explanatory,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I had an extra kind of uphill battle because nobody's really aware of Kaczynski's position. And even then, if you lay Kaczynski's position out on the table, 90% of people would say that's wackadoo. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Right?
Yeah.
So, oh, you mean the thoughts of a serial killer? Like, so it's literally like I was fighting like a very uphill battle, if you could put it that way, because
Yeah.
it's like, hey,
Yeah.
would you like to go on a live in front of 1,000-person audience and
Well,
defend the
well,
the lines of a serial killer?
Right.
well,
Right.
well. I want to try to give a little bit of advice, even though it might be terrible advice as far as making an entertainment program, but um,
You're roboting.
In a good way.
Domo
Wow.
arigato,
You got to get a $20 mic next time.
Mr. Roboto.
No, we missed a chunk there, Nero.
We know that your microphone's not working. I told you, buy a real microphone, you broke motherfucker.
Yeah, but I wish I would have
He's
pointed
loud.
out,
Yeah.
gave less direct responses to his challenges, and
Mm.
and then instead of doing that, gave less explanations of my own position.
Right.
So, and that's partly my fault because I didn't because honestly I thought he was gonna like sort of lean sort of slowly lean into the insulting part. So I thought he
Mm.
was gonna open it up and take it seriously, but he started right away. Like he literally opened up with the insult. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I see where this is going.
I
So
think.
then,
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
yeah,
I can explain a little bit from my purview of what you're referring to, aside from what actually happened, but more so why it's happening. So, as far as I can tell, Andrew walks around with 48 laws of power in his back pocket. Now, I don't mean that literally. I mean that
what
figuratively.
is 48
In
Laws of Power? What is that? What is that?
Sounds like a book or something.
well, it's a book written
it's
by
like
Robert Greene.
Machiavelli. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
Machiavelli, like Nietzsche, like that type of stuff.
Right. Overlaps to some degree with Dark Triad, or at least can be used, right? Because power is not innately good or bad. It can be used for either, in theory. It's a leverage of sorts. So some of what happened, and it's been a few months since I watched your debate, but some of what was happening had nothing to do with the core of the debate, but rather power grabs. So what it sounds like you were referring to is essentially you falling into his frame. Think about a lawyer and somebody on stand. So in a sense, the more you talk, the more that you can talk yourself further into a ditch.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. That's what I was trying to say. Was the first example is the court proceedings, because exactly what you said. And my biggest problem with everyone who's debated Andrew, including Machine, but again, we didn't know what was going on at the time. But it's that you don't capitalize on everything that he says, and the way that you do that is Socratic dialogue, and especially definitions. You have to think about the definitions of these words, because these words have so many different meanings in different contexts. So if you just assume that you know what those words mean, you're kind of digging yourself you're digging a hole for him to put you in, essentially, because you're just making assumptions.
I think you guys are way over analyzing this shit, and you're trying to play like 3D chess with a dude that's playing checkers. And so, what you don't understand is, again, all he has
I
is
mean,
like,
that's wild, but all right, go on.
all right, let me finish.
I know it's just gonna came out straight
So,
up.
Fucking
so
hi-fi.
yeah, I'd be always fucking it up. So the only claim to fame this dude has is getting a butthurt atheist to spurg out and rage quit after a nice little blood sports battle, which is hilarious because
Oh, Dillahunty
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking about. Okay.
By the way, Diabolical Diablo's back. Does anyone recognize that name?
No.
I
Jump
have
on
no
camera
idea.
for me
I
real
think
quick.
I think maybe that might be Sanity Machine, to be honest. But yeah.
That might be Andrew. Let him on.
Yeah, cam up for me real quick, bro.
Me and Machine and Nero gonna do a 3v1.
Before you try to porn bomb me, I need to see you on camera. Diabolical Diablo.
Diabolical Diablo. Wow.
Yeah, it's like a picture of, I don't know what it is. I can't even see it. It's so small.
Is it a Satan thing or a cartoon?
I don't know. I can't see it. It's like so small. It's like,
shit. If I could see it, I'd know who it was. Honestly.
Is it a Pete? Never mind.
I can't see. It's like, it's like black shit with some like peach colored shit spread across it. I can't see the picture or the icon. It's just some like art bullshit. So Diabolical Diablo, either speak on camera or show me video of the porn bomb you're attempting. Because if you sit there quietly, you're never coming on panel. Okay, well, if anyone can vouch for Diabolical Diablo, who is authenticated with YouTube, you're welcome to go find this guy and see if he's worthy to come on panel. You got to find the sponsor, bro. Sorry. Anyways, go ahead, gentlemen. What were y'all talking about? Oh, I was talking shit. I forgot.
Yeah, until you rudely interrupted us.
All right, go ahead.
With yourself. No, go on.
So anyways, all he's got is blood sports. That's all he's got. And y'all keep trying to like figure out how to get him to like actually engage in intellectual debate and shit. This is the exact same mistake Dave Smith made. Did you see how fucked up he was live on stream when he was trying to figure out who he was talking to? Dave Smith was like, are you a legit dude, or are you trolling me? Like, are you that fucking retarded? Like, what's going on here, bro? And so after Dave Smith figured it out, totally threw him a bone and saved him on his own platform. And he was like, oh, I get it. You're actually fucking retarded. You're like a crayon eating retard. So let me allow you to sound smart and
here's the thing
to have a debate.
Here's the thing, though. Like,
go ahead.
You kind of generally take the general population as kind of low IQ retards, some evil and some in the middle and some good, right? So what I'm saying is, like, if you were to create content to get people to come to the good side, wouldn't you kind of have to have it be a little retarded to reach the retards in the audience?
Well, we could do that, but then you'd keep lowering them standards so low that your Overton window goes down to just, like Idiocracy, where everyone's fucking retarded. And so you're like the one guy in the room.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Retarded.
I mean, you got to start with the e-thoughts first, and then you got to get them to look at the trad wife second, and then you go from there to, like, actually go out and maybe find a woman who's probably going to boss them around. And then by the third generation, you might, finally get, like, a guy who's, equal with the woman and has something to bring to the table. And by the fourth generation, you might be kind of close to equilibrium.
Or we could just call retard a retard and move on to another topic like Based Oracle does, which is why I more than often defend him on shit, because that's what he does.
Well, but here's the thing: is like the world's going to fall apart if if retardation continues to fester, right?
Too late.
Like, we have to.
We're already there.
Well, so why not just join the New World Order and wipe out the?
Because you're falling for the same trap everyone else is. It's like, Andrew's got 100K subscribers, so we should give him a chance, and we should take him serious.
No, I'm making an argument.
Intellectual.
I'm doing an argument right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is my belief. I'm trying to argue the point. Is what I'm saying. Like, so what I'm saying is, like, if you know that the world is retarded and you don't want to join the New World Order that says we need to wipe out 90% of the retards, then you'd have to find a way to, like, bring them into the fold before they get wiped out by the New World Order, right? So I'm just saying, like, would you see that there could be a point behind that, or you think it's just let them rot and then we'll attack. We'll find the.
I'm
smart
perfectly
good
happy being the only man on Conservataria. So, like I said, I don't need a support group or anything. So,
Well, that's
Yes,
not
you
very
do.
Christian of you. That's not very Christian of you.
of course it is. I'm not stopping anyone from coming here. I just have standards. That's the only difference between me and everyone else.
Well, I know, but you said that you want to turn the world good, though. So so how are you going to turn the world good by hiding in the woods?
Because I come out into the public square and get on my little soapbox and tell the retards how to not be retarded and see if they can try that for a while and see if that helps. But I can't force people, and I'm not going to do it through like clickbaiting and like blood
Well,
sports or
eventually
whatever.
you might have to pull out the boomstick and like scare the retards into submission a little bit, you know.
This is my boomstick. There are many like it.
Andrew's a big fan of Bruce Campbell, so if you incorporate that into your arguments, it'll make him laugh, and you'll win via making.
Hail to the king, baby!
Exactly. See, you gotta know your audience here. You know?
Holy crap! Diablo's trying so hard. Does anyone know him or ever heard of him? Hey, Diablo,
this is Raccoon. I know who it is. Raccoon. He's one of Machine's followers. I know who it is.
Diabolical Diablo is Raccoon somebody, correct?
Yeah, he's a raccoon dude.
So you and Machine are covering for him, right? Okay,
Yeah,
hold on.
yeah, we know Raccoon.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna fuck this up, but I'm gonna try it really hard. Let's hear.
Hey, what was that name you said, Nero?
Hey, Diabolical. Mic check.
Yes, sir.
Get that porn bomb done now. Let's go.
Yeah, go ahead. You gotta unmute yourself first.
Yep.
Do y'all recognize that voice?
Yeah, that's the raccoon.
Yeah.
He may porn bomb you, but it'll just be a raccoon's penis, so don't worry about it.
Well, if he's gonna porn bomb me, I'm gonna kick him. So either he's in or out. Which is it, fellas?
He's okay.
He's in. He's fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So back to the chat. You better not porn bomb me, dude, because I'll get mad. Anyways, Raccoon, what's your thoughts or whatever your name is?
I don't even know what the conversation is about. I just joined.
I was desperate to join, but I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, he was like, I gotta get on panel, even though I have no idea what it's about. Anyways, Raccoon, we were talking about, possibly roasting Andrew tonight, even though he tried to steal my thunder and rescheduled the debate till tomorrow. We're going to roast him anyway. Fuck him. And your thoughts on standards and whether or not we should shame other people whenever they don't pull through. Go ahead, Raccoon. Are you a fan of Andrew Wilson? Do you like his Kool-Aid? Is it delicious?
I don't know who that is. I have no clue.
What the fuck? Boot this dude.
Andrew Wilson, if you look on the screen, he's in the top right corner of Verbal Combat there with his little black cap and a pile of cigarettes behind him. So he's the leader of the Crucible, which is just a group of ortho bros trying to promote orthodox romancy.
Yeah.
And and by the way, here's another hot take, fellas. The only reason why ortho bros are becoming so popular now is because of all this feminist bullshit, which is creating all the, soy boy cucktards who are looking for like some sort of like group of alpha males to like, start their little Spartan league of, alpha Chad males. And so ortho bros kind of sound like patriarchal and, like all testosterone and, telling bitches to get back in the kitchen and make a sandwich and stuff. That's the only reason why they're so popular right now. Prove me wrong.
Well,
change my mind.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, okay, if you go to the negotiation table and you're going to the New World Order, but let's just take it down to like a more basic level. Let's say that you're going to negotiate with your local gangster, right? You got to ask for more than what you want because he kind of has more leverage than you. He has a bunch of dudes who'll, pop a cap on you just because you looked at him funny, right? So you got to have some sort of you got to ask for more than you want because he's going to try to wiggle your way down, right? So is it, I would say like if Andrew's trying to get men to come to the table and say, I want women to be more traditional, if he's going to the extreme, saying, you know, get your ass back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich, you know, obviously that's a little bit too far too quick, but it gets men generally in the right direction, right?
Not only is he willing to preach the same message we've been preaching for 2,000 years, we already knew that all real Christians are patriarchs. He is also willing to sell the persona that he's one of these like alpha Chad blood sports dudes that will like destroy lefties in debates and show how weak they are because he's such an alpha Chad, and that's the energy they're feeding off of. They're like, yeah, get him, bro. Yeah, we're gonna join your club. That's was my point.
Well,
you haven't changed my mind yet. Go
so
ahead.
either A gets it. So is the argument that he is so I guess the argument is still about, like, I guess the title of the debate is like, is he a grifter, right? So you're really
Grifter and a liar.
Yeah, that part I thought was a stretch at first, but spending enough time with him, of course, that's the
a
case.
liar.
It's obvious.
Which one do you think is easier to prove?
Well, I'd have to get into. Well, okay, I'll just answer on the surface. I think that first, it's not about easier. First, I prove that he's a liar, and then relate that to the grift.
Okay, so what do you think your best? Well, maybe you don't. Maybe you want to save your best. What's your second best evidence of him being a liar?
Oh man.
No, don't tear top 3. Go to 5 or 6. Save it for the debate.
five or 6.
Yeah.
Or just give an appetizer. Come on, give us
the top 10 somewhere.
Well,
in the top
I've
10.
done quite a few appetizers, but okay. Look, here's some bones. Everything from literally, provably, making hundreds of thousands of dollars from these social media platforms in the last year to I only have the $5 in my pocket. Oh, no, for real. I only have the $5 in my pocket.
Can I send you some money since you're so poor?
Well, okay.
Would it be okay if I send you some money?
I can do the next. You ready for the next?
Well, hold on. Let's stay on that point for a second.
Okay.
Let me play Andrew's role. I'll argue the point.
Sure.
I own a business, and all my money's tied up in the business. I don't pay myself very much because my house is paid off, etc. I don't need to pay myself. I only carry a little bit of cash. I pay myself as a personal thing, and I spend it all just to go to this Fresh and Fit to grow my business. And so,
yeah. But hold on, Nero. I've owned many businesses, and I mean this in no braggadocious form, but I've done millions of dollars in sales on my own. With that said, Andrew has no physical product. This is the least cash-intensive capital adventure you could possibly have, is yourself on social media. I mean, sure, he has the initial upfront costs of the cameras and, you know, the mic. I mean, really, though, it's just him. The idea of, I need to raise $15,000 to get a $300 plane or train ticket a few states away, or drive there for a couple $100 in gas, is bullshit. Common sense says that's bullshit.
Okay, sure, but let's assume that he really didn't pay himself and that his money was in the account. He showed you the accounts. I'm just.
Yeah, okay. No. I'm with you though, Nero. I'm happy to entertain this. But with that said, even if he has an LLC, I don't know if he does or not, but that's not even federally recognized as anything. That bank account is in his name.
Okay.
Also, in real life, he's an engineer, Nero Jack. So you're just digging yourself into a hole, dude. There's no way to logically get out of this.
But okay. Now here's the second layer. Now,
sure.
So he said, I literally have $5 in my pocket. Literally, he may have only had $5 in his pocket and no credit cards and nothing. And so he could have been using rhetoric to make a point.
Yeah, yes,
I correct.
Which is the best kind of correct. And you're this six-figure, six-pack, 6 months in prison.
Sure. But here's the thing, though. I totally get the nuance, and I understand the rhetoric aspect, but here's the thing. He wasn't asked by Wes Watson how much physical fiat currency he had in his pocket. He was asked if he was wealthy, if he had money. And his response was, and this is not a verbatim, but as best as I can recall, I-Fi, obviously you can pull this up, But with that said, he was asked, or he answered something to the effect of, "No, I'm broke for real. I mean, literally, I just have the $5 in my pocket." So I get what you're saying, that it could be, well, technically he only had $5 cash, which I still believe that would be a lie, although I don't know. But that wasn't the premise of the question. That wasn't a good faith answer if that is actually what he was getting at.
So you're right, Girl Jack. Technically, he may have had $5 in his pocket, and that would be correct.
I'm just saying, like, this is what we're going to be facing tomorrow, so I'm trying to help you.
Yeah. No, I get you. I appreciate it.
Oh, I think he's prepared for Andrew's bullshit, dude.
No, but look, here's the thing: is like, so here's my next layer. Here's where I would take it next. Let's say that Andrew sees himself in a holy war against degeneracy or whatever his target may be, right? If you're in war and your enemy's trying to get information from you, and do you have any obligation to give the enemy the truth? No, you're in a warfare, right?
No, you are correct. But who do you mean by enemy? Who are you referring to?
Well, I don't know who he would argue for, but I'm saying, like, let's say that he's presenting himself to the public and he has all his money tied up in a business and he's taking it very seriously because he sees himself in a holy war. If he doesn't want to go and tell everybody, "Oh, I have all
Hey,
this
Browns
money."
boy, can you jump on cam for me real quick?
But hold up. We already debunked this. What is there? Look, this is not a business of physical product. What inventory does he have of YouTube? Where would his money possibly be tied up in? And also, wasn't his answer that family is the most important thing and he's not into the physical, superficial bullshit? Yet, Rachel Wilson got a brand new pair of veneers. And I'm not saying she's not allowed to. Sure, she's perfectly allowed to. But that doesn't support his point. You don't buy $10,000 veneers or whatever the fuck they cost that appeared to be, from what Rachel said, totally cosmetic. There was no, deathly or, health reason to do it. It was just, I want to look good when I go on podcasts. Well, you don't drop 10 grand when you only have $5 to your name, and the most important thing in your life is money for your family. Well, I mean family, but, when it comes to money, that would be going towards his family, as he put it. That doesn't add up.
How do people even get information like that? Did they
like
release? What? Did they say that out loud, or
what part?
That they bought cosmetic surgery?
Yeah, I mean, Rachel talked about it.
But, like, in what context? It's such a weird.
Well, she named the person who did it, and referred that, I don't know who he is, some dentist or whatever, but referred other people to go and see him if they want something similar.
Whoa, honestly, that seems like a Hollywood celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, it's honestly, like, it's like, where did you get your veneers done? It's like, it's this doctor. He's right. Literally he studied in Brazil. And
he studied on BBLs and then moved on to teeth. Yeah.
It's like, what is going on?
Well, I mean, so look, I mean, you may be technically correct, but what I'm saying is, like,
of course I am.
You're not going. You're
the best kind of correct.
Exactly, but you're probably not going to win over an audience talking about, well, he bought his wife veneers for the teeth. I mean,
look, I didn't give you. But I didn't give you the crux. I was just explaining some.
He's not giving away the good parts, Jack. Just get over it.
I was just giving you some nuance in terms of. Look, I didn't bring up this conversation. I don't mean here. I just mean in general with Andrew. That was brought up with Wes Watson.
Oh, I didn't know that. But look here. So let me try to progress what I'm trying to get at, really. So again, let's go back to the war thing, right? Like, let's say he sees himself as he's in a holy war, and really, the influence is what he's trying to garner. Now, kind of what Machine says, like, infamy is as good as fame, right? Like, sure. It kind of doesn't matter if we're in a situation where attention matters, and you're trying to sell the product. And this is let's just put it in business terms. His product is anti-degeneracy. I mean, he's explicitly said this, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to gain enough traction without enough eyeballs on you? So you're going to have to make a, for all intents and purposes, somewhat of a fool of yourself in order to garner attention in the situation. But you could argue that people have done that for good reasons in the past, right? I mean, you could argue that someone may gain attention in order to get people into your frame, right? Like, and what you were saying about Machine when he's arguing with Andrew's very good at drawing people into his frame. This is also in the pickup artistry, right? Like in the pickup artistry thing, it's about pulling women into your frame, so you're in control of the situation, right? And again, I'm just saying, like, that's good business, that's good propaganda, even though I think he doesn't like that term used for it. But when he was talking with Richard Spencer, which I think is a very interesting conversation they had, he kind of admits that you're going to have to kind of use some sort of marketing or propaganda in order to get people back on the right track, right? And so he kind of has alluded to that. He's kind of aware of that, right? So I'm just trying to like see like how, where do you really draw the line? Like, we may hate Goebbels, right? But the truth is Goebbels and Bernays and these guys, they know how to garner influence, right? And if we're in a situation where the average person has been so fucked up in the head, either we're going to have to use the tools to dismantle that, or we're going to have to use the tools to get people away from bad propaganda. So
I see your problem, Nero, and this is where it keeps coming back to the where you draw the line, and I agree completely. So, Bass has picked his line. I picked my line, and obviously I have actual standards, and that's why you're all fucking evil retards to me. But, I agree. If we're going to open that umbrella a little bit more and let in some of the crown eaters, we do have to entertain these conversations with, well, Andrew Wilson's not really that bad. I mean, if you look at all the other debaters online, he's not as bad as the other ones. And that was my point earlier. That's why I was saying, like, when you guys have standards like Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro and fucking Andrew Wilson and shit, no wonder this country's fucked. I mean, obviously, if these are the people that you look to as leaders and standards of like logic and reason and intellectual debate and shit, then obviously the country's fucked. There's no debate there. So,
well, who would we look towards? Like
me, motherfucker! Hail to the Emperor! Fine, motherfucker! King Kong ain't got shit on me. But anyways, so
someone that has more than 70 subscribers.
Yeah. My one viewer, man. We're gonna hang out in Conservatarian. Fuck all you haters. We're just gonna rule the world in the new Garden of Eden. But anyways, I tried, dude. I've been trying. And by the way, I accidentally said the other day I've been trying this for 20 years on YouTube. I meant online. I've been debating online for like Discord servers and fucking news aggregator sites with like comment sections.
I have a
like
question. Is this live what you're playing on the screen?
No, this is one of my recordings. These are all videos from my tube.
No, I was asking because Dennison like attacked Andrew, and I'm like, wait a second.
I know, that's why I like Dennison. We're gonna bring Dennison.
Yeah, I saw that the other day.
But why is Dennison on this panel? Like, how come he's not, kicked out of?
Oh, he probably is by now, dude. This is an old video. There's lots of super old videos on here, Neurojack. There was a video where Based Oracle and Jim Bob and Andrew were all on the same panel being friends together. So this is some really old shit on here. But anyways, times change. Things happen.
What do you think of Jim Bob, Based?
I haven't seen a lot of him. I've seen a little bit, and from what I've seen, he seems okay. But I also get it that he is probably somebody like Glenn or Grid One, who is Andrew ride or die. Andrew could go do the most heinous things. Not that I think he would or he has, but he could, and they'd have his back. They'd be like, no, Andrew, cool. As long as he has that clout, as long as he's in the scene, he's the man.
Well, I'm just trying to make as many points as I can. You guys interject if you want, but let me just get this really quick. So, with the, do you know anything about Owen Benjamin?
Not much, but I've seen a little of him, so I know who he is.
I was just curious. So here's my question. So, here's what I would, you're going to have to address this because I think it's going to be one of the major points used against you based on what I've seen. And again, like I really hope you guys have a real debate. I hope it doesn't get. I hope it doesn't
Go to
actually
Dave Smith, but good luck with that shit.
But because I think that, like, whatever the truth is, I think that it is worth having these kind of serious conversations. So let me ask you this: do you think that what do you think of them trying to say that you were saying something about the pedo stuff? Like, because like that was a weird react. Like, I don't know what the truth of the matter is, but I think that's going to be a major part of their rebuttal against you, is like saying that you were trying to like make Glenn look pedo adjacent, which I didn't see that, so I don't know if there's any merit to that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I've talked about this quite a bit,
That's this
but
whole separate tangent. By the way, girl.
basically,
it won't be tomorrow. I guarantee you, it's going to be like.
You think Andrew's going to bring up Glenn's
yeah, I do.
adjacent shit?
I can almost guarantee that's going to be a big part of it.
I hope not. And by the way, Base, if he does try to do that, you should remain on target, because he can completely derail the whole thing with that simple trick. So.
Yeah, I mean, I get both of you, and that's fine.
So
I would say,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just gonna
go ahead, Browns boy. You haven't talked yet. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I was just.
Oh, Brown's on here.
Yeah, he's right there.
What do you think about them? Like, what do you think that means in the grand scheme of thing, that he's trying to say that you were making a false claim about?
Well, first of all, I did not make a false claim whatsoever. What happened and is documented, and I put up all of the receipts. Andrew and Glenn put up some of the receipts. I put up all of them.
I'll go ahead and answer for you, Neural. It's distraction. It's red herrings, distraction, and you see how people will find triggers and then they'll respond to it. It's the oldest trick in the book. So
I would say I think people in Hollywood are probably less adjacent than, like saying he's adjacent to that stuff is actually pulling him farther away from Hollywood.
Yeah, so I never made the claim. I've never used the term pedo adjacent. That was something they manufactured. But what I did do is put up the truth, which is, I mean, this stems back. Some of it is predating what I was talking about on that stream in particular, which is Glenn has a history, has a pattern of constantly being an apologist for anyone of clout that he aligns with or could align with. So when it came to John Zerka, somebody who's been calling himself a pedo for, however long he's been on YouTube, and more recently got caught with underage women, even to the degree of getting kicked off of the platform Kick. And if you're not familiar with Kick, you got to really fuck up to get kicked off of Kick. With that said, I simply asked Glenn if Zerka is his friend. And the reason I asked that is because Glenn had just announced prior to this on stream that he keeps his friends in check, that he will shame them. That's what he put out. That's what Glenn said, is he keeps his friends accountable.
Do you think he means that publicly? Like he would publicly hold them accountable? Or?
Well, I don't know, but that's something I wouldn't know. But I wanted to have the conversation because he made that claim. So I simply asked him at first, is this your friend? And it seems to me, although this was on Twitter, so, you have text instead of talking, obviously some things can be lost in translation of that communication, but nonetheless, he seemed to get defensive, and we went a little bit into it. I had tagged him or, reposted something where Zerka had admitted to this, yet blamed it on whoever was supposed to vet the girls. I would say women, but it turns out to be girls that he was having on stream and apparently slept with, whatever. So with that, my issue is not as much that Zerka did this. I'm not saying that's not bad. I'm just saying not as much, but more to the point that millions of young men are watching him. And he is out promoting this degeneracy in a society that already has too much degeneracy. So I wanted to see what Glenn's response would be. Is this your friend? I didn't even get to the part of how would you hold them accountable. I was just asking, is this your friend? We had a little exchange. he kind of was like, oh, well, why are you asking, etc. I put out something, like, look, here he is getting caught in the same shit that he's been purporting, this pedo behavior. And then Glenn, his final response was, well, I would be open to being friends with him. And I had a stream reviewing the Zerka situation, as well as my call out of Glenn. How the fuck would me putting this out there to you have you respond that I would be open to being friends with this piece of shit? Something is wrong with you. I'm not even out here promoting Christianity or religion, yet Glenn is. He talks of himself, or he introduced himself to me as a pastor, a former youth minister. He constantly goes back to the Bible referencing, what would Jesus do, etc. Yet on the other end, the other side of his mouth, he has OF girls on, playing strip poker, puts it behind a paywall and says, well, it's not that bad because I put it behind a paywall. So Jesus would be okay with that as long as money is involved for me. Fucking retarded.
And so, in closing, Neurojack, now you understand why you don't talk about the war, because even though he has a point, he can connect to the, like enforcing standards and shit. All Andrew's got to do is drop that one little trigger, and then he will completely derail the entire debate. So I hope Based Oracle mentally prepares himself not to fall for that trap, just like everyone else in the world. You understand how GS can't have a coherent thought as soon as someone talks about stolen valor or his wife. It doesn't matter what the topic was before. And so Andrew Wilson knows all he has to do is drop that one little bomb, and there goes the whole fucking debate right there. You'll spend the whole time trying to explain why you have a beef with someone else and stuff like that. And so
or the whole fuck your sister thing. But no.
But that's a whole separate tangent, Jack.
No, it's not. It's going to be very relevant in about 24 hours.
Okay, well, if he's in the debate with Andrew Wilson, and all Andrew Wilson does is drop that one little trigger and derails the entire fucking debate and spends 2 hours talking about whether or not you own your sister and should fuck her, then it's going to sound like he's poning you because he's blood sporting you into a corner, and you're like, but wait, I actually had a logical response. Too late, motherfucker. It's 2 hours later. No one gives a shit. So this is why we can't get shit done, is because of people like Andrew Wilson. I agree, Neurojack. Good point. Thank you for making my point for me, Jack, as always. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Pretty based.
So did you know that? Let me mention this really quick. Did you know that Zerka was doing predator catching with Vitaly, whatever his name is, and shit?
Yeah, I'm aware that. I don't know all about it, but I saw a very short clip, so I'm vaguely aware.
To me, that's weird. How can you call you I don't know if he said this.
Because that's his competition, Nero. Think about it. You got to get rid of the comp.
So wait, how do you be on YouTube and say that you're a pedo? Doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'll tell you how he does it. He does it under the guise that he is a comedian, although I don't find him very funny most of the time. And in all fairness, I have seen things with him in the past that I thought were pretty fucking funny. But generally speaking, at this point, I don't find him to be very funny. I don't think he's a comedian, or at least not a good one.
Also, guys, prepare your anus for the Chewbacca defense. And it was just a prank, bro. I'm just an entertainer defense. So I think Base is smarter than that, but it's possible that will come up.
Well, I think you should just take them at their word. I mean, that's the thing is if people use defenses like that, you say, okay, well, if you're only an entertainer, then it doesn't matter. I mean, there's ways to you got to really break apart language in order to have these kind of debates.
No, so I agree with you, but at least if he puts that out there to his entire audience, and then they know that it's not just Andrew's here and we're supporting him to fight the degeneracy through our money, time, and attention, but rather this is all entertainment, so don't take anything I say serious, then I see that as a win. So that's the thing. I can't lose.
How much you want to bet Andrew's watching this right now?
Oh,
no, I wouldn't bet. Of course he's watching it. What up, Andrew?
Hey, Andrew.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing is, like, if Andrew really is honest, and I think that there is truth behind him from my interactions with him, I think that he does care to some degree about whatever his project is. But that's the thing is, I'm not exactly sure what his long-term goal is, but assuming that he does actually care about, you know, the future of Christianity or something.
Sure.
You know, I'm very interested in strategy, right? Like, and he made this point to Richard Spencer as well. Like, it's, you know, a lot of the problems, like he was, and he made this point on Glenn Lawrence, and Machine played a little bit of it about, you know, the right has zero fucking good strategy for actually doing anything politically. They don't know how to do super PACs. They don't know how to hit the streets and canvas. They don't. Wait
a minute. Hold on. You just set off my bullshit alarm. The right? Who the fuck is the right, Neurojack?
Well, I know what you mean, but
you motherfucker! You're a conservatarian. I'm about to boot you from this panel. Answer: who's the right?
Well, you would say that there is no right in the
exactly, motherfucker. Get that shit out of here.
No, I'm repeating his point, but
go ahead.
But assuming that there is any right wing people, like even if there's only 10 of us, you know.
10? That's awfully optimistic, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but assuming that there's only 10 of us, right? We're not doing very well in the marketing department, is what I'm trying to get at, right? So,
Kings, authenticated with YouTube. Can you jump on cam for me real quick? FSFD, what does that mean?
Yeah. Kings is good.
Kings, jump on camera for me real quick and wave and give me the finger or something.
I tell you, he's good.
Very dark. I can only see a
porn bomb
shadow.
him in the back, so in the front it'll be.
Okay, hold on. Let me try to unfuck it real quick. Hold on. Bloop.
Sometimes when they're dark, they just got roasted.
Bloop. Okay, Kings, go ahead and talk.
Yo, do you hear me?
What up, Kings?
Is this Kings? Is he legit?
Yes, I told you.
I am legit.
He's legitimate.
Business in the front. Party,
Authentico.
Business in the front.
So first of all, Kings, begin with a hail to Emperor Phi, and then you may speak.
Never.
Don't you dare.
Never.
All right, very good.
I'm the Sith. I'm the Sith Lord. Fuck you.
Hey, Kings, you did a name change recently, right?
Yeah, I put it as Power Sphere because I like to talk about, you know, obviously power, manipulation, brainwashing. I mean, Andrew's just playing a character. You know, he goes on like, yeah, I'm a daddy Bloodsport debater. Yeah, I am the Emperor Bloodsport debater. Then he says, no, I'm just an entertainer, bro.
Well, hey, it's just a prank, bro. Calm down. It's just a prank.
Trump was on WWE and he became president of the United States. Maybe it's a good strategy.
Well, the thing is that he's a good entertainer, a good marketer also. Trump is very, very good at like massaging people's like fucking primal instincts. Like, because you look at the general population, they don't give a flying fuck about logic. Do you think they give a fuck about like the general concerns of the country? No, they want to see someone beat the shit out of fucking Biden, and that's what happened. You know, it was elder abuse.
The general public does like Brondo because it's got electrolytes, so you got to give them.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Stop shitting on my public.
Maybe Andrew's got the right strategy. That's what I'm going to. Maybe he's got the right strategy.
Well, here's the thing, Nero. Here's the thing. If we're in a vacuum and we lead up to right now, then I agree with you. However, if he has such a great strategy, why the fuck is he so concerned with me and my 300 or 400 subscribers? Why the fuck is he worried about what I'm saying if his strategy is so good? Why did he fall into the exact frame? And I know you hear me, Andrew. The exact frame that I wanted from day one, which is we go from this is your last chance, this is your last shot, to the next time, to the next time, to I have to pay you $1,000. We're going to debate in person, to exactly what I said, that we will debate online, live stream, $0. How the fuck did I manifest all that if you're so good? And I've been saying this for months. Kings, I know you heard me say this.
Yeah, like I think the biggest thing is that you kicked him off the panel and made him look like a cunt. And that to him is like, how could this small channel do this to me? And he does this to every fucking person that doesn't fall in line with him. In a way, it's a good tactic to build a cult in a way. And he's building his cult. He's building a cult.
What part of Kiss the Ring do you not understand, motherfucker?
I am Bolton. If you want war, baby, I'll give you fucking war.
Okay, so look, hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna help you guys a little bit here. Okay, this is a big review.
We need help. We don't have enough subs.
Right.
Yeah. Vote me for emperor, by the way.
So here's what I would say. Like, you guys don't, particularly like the direction of the government. I think most of us don't like it.
Shit.
I mean, we're strong patriotic Americans.
They're a dumpster fire. Yes.
So here's the thing. Look, we can love our
Andrew
country.
Wilson likes the government. You should follow him.
We can love our country without loving our government. But here's the thing: is Andrew doesn't like America. America thinks he thinks America should have stayed with Britain. He thinks, more or less.
Really?
He doesn't realize that they
America
still with
needs
Britain.
an ortho bro pope to rule us. So you guys don't understand what he's selling.
He's delusional.
Not directly, but I think to some degree he thinks that the Enlightenment.
But you guys are too busy drinking the Kool-Aid because he's got Alpha Tad vibes and he's gonna fight your feminazis for you. You guys are so fucking retarded that when I show up and like, no, we need a libertarian government, he's like, oh, look at this little hippie.
But here's the thing. The way he talks, but then you look at his personal life, it doesn't compute, because if he's such an alpha Chad fucking conservative motherfucker, how come he married a single mother? That's that to me.
Shit.
I'm telling you, in war, anything goes.
Sure,
so
no, you're right. But and look, even if you want to take it at that level, I think you got to be very careful, because once you open up that debate on that level, like, there's also like a thing, like, I don't know how old you guys are, but like, I'm in my 30s, right? So
39.
Like, who I was when I'm
Mid-40s.
21, when he probably got married, and who I am at 37 with all this experience is very different.
I don't like
right?
to get personal, but if any of this is public information, it's fair game as all information on
but this is like the last resort. If someone calls you like a PDF file or something like that, then you have every right to go to that extreme level, because it shows a level of dominance. Like, you can't, if someone comes in, like when Machine lies, Andrew immediately insult him. That's fucked up. Like,
all I've ever heard is call people like stupid and backbiters and duplicitous, though.
Well, sure,
so I don't know.
but just remember that part in Jurassic Park where the beginning of the movie, and he's talking about the 6-foot turkey, and he said that's when the attack comes, not from the front but from the side. Just keep that in the back of your mind. What I'm saying here. So
what's up, Daisy?
So here's what I'm trying to get at with my point. So, he doesn't even necessarily agree that the United States is even a valid project, because he rejects the Enlightenment, right? So we kind of, I mean, I think the Enlightenment has some serious problems, but I do think that there are some things that we can learn from it regardless, right? But having said that, if I wanted to actually have a chance at attaining the halls of power, and I'm not going to name any specific examples, 100 years ago in the middle of Europe, but let's just say that you wanted to do such a thing, you would need a cult, or at least people who are willing to sacrifice to attain power. So so technically, even if it's true, you could argue that if you actually wanted power, you would need people willing to, risk their well-being to some degree in order to gain power.
It's about like attracting basically those people that will ride and die for you, and that's what he does. And and what he did is, like, he's fighting degeneracy, right? Technically, that's a conspiracy. Like, he's fighting a conspiracy, and it's
with
a
conspiracy. You're fighting a conspiracy with a conspiracy. Exactly my point.
Yeah, and the conspiracy to the people's minds, it captures something so, like, it's us versus them dynamic. And it makes it more interesting to basically people's primal instincts, and it causes them to rally for a cause, and that is a perfect breeding ground for brainwashing, and that's what Andrew Wilson does.
Well, you could argue that almost all the wars throughout history have been all about getting enough people who are either brainwashed or threatened or paid enough to risk their lives. I mean,
so you have to take that same consideration and all of these various YouTube channels, whether good or bad, even, and that's what I think, like good men, they need to understand that part of brainwashing and manipulation. I'm not saying use malicious, like where you turn your followers into like brain dead idiots, but more of like, look, these other bad guys are doing it. You have to do it too, in a way. If you want to obtain something of power or status or influence, you're going to have to do some of those tactics anyway. Is this how it goes?
I'll give you a different analogy that is exactly the same thing I'm talking about. But let's say that where I live, I live in a very not a very law and order focused place, and it's not super dangerous, but it's dangerous enough to where, the police really can't handle, and the justice system really can't handle things, even if they weren't corrupt, which they are. So having said that, if people wanted to take control of their local, area, you'd basically have to have criminals against criminals. Even though you might see yourself as a vigilante, the law would see you as a criminal, right? So then you'd have to have mafia against mafia in order to establish what we would refer to as law and order again, right? So what I'm saying is, having said that, how would you go about doing that when the people that would be involved would have to risk their family life, prison, death, job opportunities, business opportunities in order to establish law and order? Well, you'd have to pay them. You'd have to give them.
Hey guys, let me interrupt for a second, Nero. Daisy May in the comments. This is the real Wi-Fi. That's my contact email address. Contact me. You are my future content. So you are my #1 focus for all my future contacts. So after I'm done with politics and all this drama bullshit, I'm going full hard into the religion stuff. So contact me. We're going to do panels in the future. It's me. Okay, go ahead, Neurodex.
Yeah, Daisy May also knows about some of the deep state stuff, so she can aid in a bed,
Also, Rant wants to get on panel. Does anyone want to jump off, or
I'll jump off. So I just wanted to say, do you guys kind of get what I'm getting at here? Does it make sense, what I'm trying to say?
I'd rather listen to you, Jack.
Wait. Why does somebody have to hop off for Rant?
Because I'm poor as fuck and I only have the 6 panel.
Okay, but you only have 5 up here. Can you count hi-fi?
Someone else left. Never mind.
Who left?
I don't know.
Oh, Brown's boy left. Okay.
Brown's boy. Rant, jump on camera for me real quick, so I can see that.
All I have to say, Nero Jack, is never underestimate people's primal instincts and a person's ability to actually influence.
Is Rant Mykaal Abyar, Mykaal Is that his real?
I don't know.
Identity.
I don't know.
Hey, Rand, jump on camera real quick.
But I will tell you that this is him. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, it's him. Sure? I'm pretty sure it's him.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me not fuck it up completely.
But yeah, that's him.
Okay, Rand.
Yo.
It's Mike.
Rand.
It's Mike from Pops.
Okay.
What up?
All right, Rand. Do not derail this stream, but go ahead and speak, dude.
Where's
Pops, bro?
Who knows who I am? Who the fuck is Kings?
It's Shift, baby.
Shift, bro. What are you doing?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. So where's Pops? What's he doing?
Pops is making money.
That's good, man. That's good.
Pops is making hella money.
Damn, so you two know each other?
Yeah, we came from the Black Pill sphere. We trolled it. It was fun.
Okay. Oracle.
What up?
Here's the difference. Yeah. I am a fucking legend, okay? You are new in this fucking pond. You're just a little tadpole paid government operative, okay? You're going to figure it out one day, all right? Here's the fucking problem.
I mean, you're wrong, but...
I don't give a fuck.
Go on,
quiet.
Be more wrong.
Quiet now. You're irrelevant.
No, I could not be
Here's the reality.
No. I could not be
You guys
Rand.
need to realize your heads are so far up your own fucking asshole that you're sitting on the internet like washwomen, talking like women, about some fake ass Christian juiced out on steroids talking about a fucking another guy who thinks he's a Christian, talking to another guy who thinks he's a Christian, talking to a fucking retard. That's what you guys are observing right now, trying to figure it out. Let me explain it to you.
No, that's actually not happening.
Bullshit.
That's actually not happening. I think you got everything
You're all
so far
retarded.
wrong.
You're all retarded, and you're wasting your fucking lives.
Don't come in
Oh,
here.
that's a good point, Rand. No. Out of everything you said, when you said I agreed with you.
You're all retarded.
Maybe, but
prove me wrong.
I'm not a
Prove
beta
me
cuck,
wrong
dude.
that you guys out here arguing all fucking day is not wasting your life.
I haven't heard any arguing so far.
Unless you have some kind of agenda you're promoting for money, I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah, that's what it is. We're promoting agendas for money.
That's exactly what you do.
We were talking about influence and brainwashing and shit. You know,
Exactly.
Actually, it's a deep conversation.
Why do we play into it?
Bringing me lots of money.
What do you mean we? You just hopped on Spurgeon a little bit. What do you mean? Where's the we coming from?
The we is coming from every day you guys find something new to cry about.
What's this you guys?
No, that's actually not happening.
Are we all the same person in this room, Rant? Are we all the same person?
All you fucking
So Rant,
YouTube
you've been watching all my streams?
No, I don't watch them.
Oh, okay. So you're literally talking out your ass.
Because I see.
No. That makes sense. No, that makes sense that you have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, you're gonna break down nothing. Okay, everyone, listen up. Rant, no. Give Rance the floor. He's gonna break down nothing.
Yeah, go ahead, Rant. Tell us.
Go on, Rance. Break down nothing.
I'm gonna break it down if you shut your fucking dick sucking mouth.
He's gonna break down nothing. Let's see.
If you just take the cock out of your mouth.
He's splitting atoms in half.
I'll break it down for you. You guys sit here like fucking washwomen. You look for one little trigger fucking topic of the day. Oh, look what happened today. I'm like a fucking washwoman. I'm going to go make a show about it. Oh, I'm going to get some clicks for my YouTube. You fucking losers.
Dude,
you don't even know the first fucking part. It's not a troll, bro. I'm breaking out reality for you.
Okay,
if you don't like
it's not a troll.
He's
just
troll session 101.
Dude, if I wanted a troll, I'd call up Weirdo John. At least he's a good troll. You know, you got to like put a little effort into it.
Oh, we got one troll in the chat. It's self-made. Brown's boy. That's self-made. Yeah. So.
Brown's boy's pretty cool. He's fun.
Wait. Hold up a second. Brown's boy is self-made?
Yep, that's self-made. Confirmed. Hi, self-made.
I don't know these people well enough to form an opinion.
Yeah, he's Torsa's little bitch. That's what.
You guys do it the rest of your time.
All right, so Rant, I'll let you on panel. What do you want to say, bro? Pick somebody.
What do y'all do in between fucking streaming and sleeping?
Today I built another chunk of the bunker in the woods.
Hold on. To be clear, Rance hopped up here to complain about us complaining.
Yeah.
I did.
Which is a whole nother level of not making sense.
So hold on, Rant. So today in real life, I added another significant portion of the bunker in the woods. So pretty soon, I'm going to be off-grid, self-sufficient, and I'm going to start building Conservataria.
Look, you're doing great. You're doing great.
All right. Now, see, when you said you included me with all the other
You're doing great. You're the real MVP. All right. What about the rest of these faggots?
Does Rance not remind you of like that ex-girlfriend that you blocked a couple times but keep showing up with a new number?
Look, he does run out of his LSD. He's just running, he's on the come down right now. So
I'm all out, folks.
he definitely needs more cum.
That's it. I'm hitting. Listen, I don't know why you're talking about cum. You're obviously a faggot. But here's the thing. All right, I'm at LSD.
You talking to Kings now?
I'm talking to you, pussy.
He's the one that brought it up.
You're the faggot. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Try to keep it TOS friendly so we don't get banned, Rant. Come on, dude. Chill out.
No. Rant's getting in his feels. Let him get the emotions out.
There ain't no emotions. I'm cool as a cucumber.
Rance, you are cared about. People love you.
I'm a cool ass.
All right, I don't want to lie to him.
Chill out for a second. Brant, before you derail, do you have any strong feelings about Andrew Wilson? Yes or no?
I think Andrew Wilson is turning green, and I think his liver is failing.
What?
That's perfect.
Look at him. Look
That,
at his
that may be
face.
accurate. Yeah.
Bro, he's turning green. His eyes is turning yellow. That's Hep C or liver failure. You
Or
figure it out.
jaundice.
I mean,
What do you get jaundice from? You get it from excess bilirubin.
But what do you think about his message and his standards and all that shit? Are you a fan or?
I think he's a fake Christian, like most of these pussy ass bitches out here.
Well, I'll agree with you on that because you're technically correct, which is the best form of correct.
I saw some kind of bullshit that you were like, I don't know, commentating on, and somebody posted it in the fucking Discord, and he was talking about OnlyFans models or some bullshit, and they won't take a bullet for their OnlyFans. I don't fucking know. But that motherfucker never
Holy
read
shit, we just
Habakkuk.
got raided by everyone.
I'm just saying. If you read Habakkuk, you wouldn't be questioning this shit on OnlyFans panels.
That's a good point. What up, Gen X Jeff?
Kings.
Oh,
Hey,
King's
Base.
gone?
Hey, Fi.
What up,
Hey
Jeff?
Jeff, do you have anything deep to share? Because Kings went back up. He somehow dropped off for a second.
Who
but-
does?
He just saw all the faggots on the panel, and he thought he could come on here and swing some dick or something.
Or Browns boy. Browns boy, do you want to give Kings your spot? Or
Whoa,
what?
whoa, whoa,
Oh, are
Browns
you
boy.
limited? This is a free account. Are you limited?
Browns boy, you
Yeah, I'm a
self-made?
free account.
Are you
Yeah, I can go
self-made?
off. I was gonna start a
No.
stream anyway.
I'll go off. You guys have a great fucking night.
I was just
No,
seeing
no,
if-
no,
Come back,
Rance,
Rant. We were
don't
having fun.
leave. We'll really,
No, Kings left. So
Me,
he-
me
he
or
went
Browns
away.
boy are the candidates to get
Everybody
voted
stay.
out.
Kings
All
left.
right, we'll see you later, Rance.
No, you
Later,
can stay,
bro.
Rant. Kings left. So
I mean, I told
Who's-
you what
Oh,
I had.
King's gone? All right, we can keep this fag.
I kind of like Kings. I want to get more of him later on, but he got tired of waiting. So Jeff, what's
Hopefully
your
not King
thoughts
Steven.
on our beloved Lord and Savior Andrew Wilson?
I noticed Base Oracle called me a fag, and I just wanted to let you know that's you. Okay.
Stop.
Well,
with
Rant, you just got through
DOS.
calling everybody the roof faggot.
Well, I mean, they are faggots.
Stop
I know it's
with
just the empty
DOS.
words you sling back and forth. It's just a little
Gen X
social
Jeff,
ritual.
tell me that they're not fags.
Are we allowed to say the F bomb on YouTube?
I say it all the time.
I'm glad that you don't have the restream now.
Yeah.
'Cause I would have took this shit down.
Oh no, I say it all the time on my stream.
Oh, okay,
I identify as a faggot. It's my pronoun. My Twitter
That's
name was
fine.
Satanic Faggot.
It means
Never mind.
sticks. So go ahead, Jeff. What's your thoughts on Andrew Wilson?
I'm not using it in a derogatory way.
I'll let you.
What
I'll
the
talk
fuck?
when.
What
I'll,
kind of way
I'll
you
give him
using
when
it then?
Rant's. Is Rant leaving?
I'm
If
just
it's
saying,
not
like, y'all
I
are
don't want to
faggy.
compete for the mic tonight.
What is it?
It's like, yo, if you're playing football and your boy's skipping across the field, that's faggy, bro. He's not.
See,
gay.
I never had a boy doing that.
Well,
so
'cause you were the
apparently
one
you
doing
have.
it.
No,
I mean,
you're the resident expert.
yo,
Explain.
It's hard to see the fagginess when you're faggy.
Well, it
Base.
is hard to see when it doesn't exist. I agree.
More like gay Oracle.
Rant.
Okay,
Nobody
guys,
does that anymore.
Stop
That's from
gaying
like
up my
40
panel.
years ago.
New
That-
topic. New topic. We're
Gay
all
dude.
in.
You realize the gay
Yo.
man just called
Yo,
you
him
gay.
and fucking generally specific are gonna make Brokeback
Only
panel,
Jeff
okay?
is allowed to talk about gay people. New topic. What's on your mind?
Today is the anniversary of Stonewall. Today, by the way.
Okay.
You should switch out the baseball Masonic hat for a cowboy
So
hat.
Jeff, what do you think about Andrew Wilson rescheduling magically tomorrow the actual debate with?
Oh, it was supposed to be tonight.
No, the real debate. He's gonna have a real debate with Sarah the Raging Tomato tomorrow on her.
Wait, I thought it was based that he was debating.
It is.
He is debating debates. This one was the fake one. He was
Debating
never coming,
debates.
Jeff.
Wait, I thought that you were modding a debate between him.
No,
Basin and-
Jeff. The joke was Andrew Wilson pussied out. He backed out of the debate with Glenn.
Right.
And because of the side action with Glenn, and so I said, "Fuck all these retards." Here's the debate on my channel. So I was gonna give Base the win by default because we know Andrew Wilson would not show up to
Yo.
the channel.
What's up?
Oh,
with Glenn?
he. I thought he agreed to show up. I thought it was
No,
coordinated ahead of
Jeff,
time. You
it
were just trying to bait him into a debate.
It was a roast, Jeff. We were just gonna roast the shit out
Oh,
of him all
Bait
night long.
into debate. No,
Yo,
you got it
Lynn,
all
correct.
these fucking people, bro. Did they watch together like an audio tape
I
of the
don't-
Bible and become
I don't think you're
Christians? What the
missing
fuck
much.
is going on here, bro?
So then tonight, Andrew Wilson announces, "Oh, I'm going to have a real debate with Based Oracle on Sarah the."
I've never seen him have
Potato."
a real debate yet with anybody.
gonna have it
What he's
tomorrow.
doing is not debate. Ask anybody that that actually debates. What he's
No,
doing is not a
that's
debate.
pretty base, Josh.
That's why
No,
you got
you're
to
right.
tune in tomorrow to see if he is capable.
A
of
real
running
debate would
a
actually be
living.
quite boring for most
Yeah,
YouTubers.
I know it would, but at least he would get that credit.
Look, they don't debate. They write down Jordan Peterson quotes and remix them.
Yep, and then blood sports it and say, "You fucking idiot! You don't understand. If you own your sister, you should fuck her. You don't understand."
Oh man.
Okay, I guess we can say faggot now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely say faggot. You can say anything you want on my channel except for blasphemy, by the way. But All
right.
Is it blasphemy if I'm not a believer?
You just can't say blasphemy. So
I don't
anyway,
believe in faggots.
You just said
Well,
it
that's
twice.
blasphemy, okay, pussy?
So I don't care about the YouTube bad words because I'll talk about the coronavirus.
I mean,
that
you're
is
leaving
a
anyway. What does it matter?
biological weapon created in the Wuhan lab, funded by NIH, including Fauci. But anyways, I'll talk about anything on this channel, but my channel will get shut down eventually. So you know that it is what it is. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yours is smaller than mine.
Yeah, I know. That's why
I think
can
it's
talk about
safe.
anything. That's why I can talk about anything I want. So
Yeah.
including the deep state, which scared away Bro State and Cynthia the other day. Thoughts and feelings panel.
What happened?
The other day on Conservataria, I was talking about the deep state, and we were talking about who the deep state is, and I started naming names, and then all of a sudden my panel left. They didn't want to talk about it anymore. Why is
Maybe
that?
because it was
fellas?
boring.
There's probably 3/4 of
I
the
have
time.
a tweet for you. I fight on the deep state today.
Okay. Is it the military-industrial complex? Is it
Well,
Big
it's
Pharma?
I'm gonna give it to you.
Is it the
it's a-
Uniparty? Is it the crony
Oh,
capitalist?
You're gonna find out about it.
You're gonna give it to you. You about to find out.
All right, lay it on me,
There
brother.
you go.
You want me to present or like what?
No, I mean it's just for your. You can if you want. It's a guy on Twitter that breaks down what the deep
Okay,
state
well, we're
actually
gonna
is.
present it, and then the panel can share their thoughts and feelings on it. So here's his deep state. President, cabinet secretaries, deputies, and undersecretaries, senior executive service, and GS grades and other civil service. That's the deep state.
No, it's a thread, so you have to go 2 or 3 tweets deep.
It says GS's name right in that thing.
See, 1 to 3 are political, but not deep state. The deep state is level 4, these SESs, along with the upper levels of 5, and then he expands in the next tweet down.
Okay, do I just click on it? Okay.
No, not that one. The tweet. That's the retweet. The actual
What do I
thread.
click
you're in
on?
now.
Where do you want me to click?
Click the tweet, not that. Click that. That should take you to a thread. No, the tweet. Is that not a thread? You see how it 1 at the bottom, like it's threaded? It
I'm
should be a
clicking on
thread.
it. Nothing's happening.
I don't know why. It's supposed to be a thread.
Okay.
It's a thread on my side.
You can present on your own, and I'll let you present.
Well, all right, let me do that then.
Fuck, dude, I'm a boomer. I can't technology. You already.
You're
knew
a
that.
boomer?
Yeah.
You're not older than me.
I am with technology, and especially when I'm
okay.
at the end of a long week where I don't give a shit.
All right, the deep state, directed by the SES, are lifelong civil servants, almost impossible to fire. They could thwart the actions of political appointees and wait them out. This is true of administrators and Congress people. People sometimes confuse the deep state with the ruling coalition, but they are not at all the same. The ruling coalition has many stakeholders: politicians, media, business people, universities. The deep state is only one part of the ruling coalition. And then he goes
Sounds
on
good
to
to me.
tie it to Biden.
Big Pharma, military-industrial complex, all that shit. They're all
Here's
basically our government, like our existing institutions.
Do you guys have a problem with that, or you think it's okay?
I don't. I mean, what are we
I
going
have
to
a
replace
big
them
problem
with?
with it. I'm a libertarian, and we don't like not only.
I want to keep them unless we have reasons to replace them with something better.
Well, here's the thing: if we want all this technology and all this stuff, you kind of need.
Why is
like,
Brown's boy saying hello? Can he not talk? Hi, Brown's boy.
That's not me.
That's
You
me.
said I-Fi hello.
I'm not saying that, no.
Oh, okay. I thought you couldn't speak or something. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if you want all this technology in the system to exist, you have to have like some sort of, panel of people to kind of discuss things, right? Like, how would it work otherwise, right? Like, you can't like. Is the problem that we have a panel of people talking, or is it the current group of people that we have talking. Like,
well, obviously not my one viewer. They're not worried about my one viewer. But if you had like 100,
Oh, you know what? I'll post this for you.
I bet they would care about your 100K subscribers.
Let's try to get you some viewers.
Are you guys,
Jack, are you like analogizing the deep state to a panel and like talking about the?
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, you're saying you're saying the deep state is different because you have this, larger group of corporate people and
the deep state is part of a larger something. He's calling the ruling coalition.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm sure there's military leaders who are behind the shadows pulling the strings, but they also need a corporate structure to get shit done. So, I mean, is the problem that we have that working together, or is it the people that are running it suck? Which one do you think?
I always think it's
here's the deep state right
if
here.
You're not getting the results you want, it's almost always the people in the system, and you swap them out and you get different results. You get different policies. Look at Trump's executive orders versus Biden's, etc. The people you put into the deep state or the system, whatever. Now, as far as these people that can't be fired, and I think this is coming up because of the Chevron ruling, actually. I don't know how Chevron's going to affect all this.
Here's the deep state on screen. Mainstream media, the Uniparty, and they're talking about, all the bullshit, military-industrial complex and all the higher education stuff, all the universities and stuff. All of that shit's deep state. Big pharma, all that shit. They're all in on it.
How is it a uniparty if they're...
Jeff,
executive orders are so antithetical to one another?
Jeff, do you think
that doesn't look like unity to me?
Which fucking retard you vote for? Do you think anything's going?
That wasn't my question, though. That wasn't my question, nor was your response and answer to it.
I gave you the answers. It doesn't matter which one you vote for.
But that wasn't my question. It wasn't even about voting. It was, how could it be a uniparty if Trump's executive orders are almost the exact opposite of Biden's? That does not seem like unity.
Because they create the illusion that you're changing shit.
So Biden and Trump are secretly in collusion, and they're creating this illusion that they're divided over these specific issues, that they're putting these executive orders out.
Hey, Jeff, if I said, guess which party I'm talking about, and I said, this party bailed out the banks.
No, I was following my line of questioning.
Which party am I
That's
talking
what I was interested in, not you taking
I know, I'm just
another
seeing if you're
framing.
able to follow along with the conversation, Jeff. So if I said this party is responsible for bailing out the banks during the housing crisis.
That wasn't any of my questions. You're starting new questions. You're not answering my questions. You're starting new questions.
Just guess. See if you can
Which
guess.
We can do. I'm fine moving on. I'm just saying you're not answering my question.
If they're so opposite, Jeff, if one is opposite for their good answer.
It's so opposite. Biden revoked Trump's and put in something that was the complete opposite of what he tried to do. That doesn't seem like uniparty.
Is it so opposite that Bush and Obama both bailed out the big banks during the housing crisis? Because they're so opposite, Jeff. They're so opposite that they're not even kind of the same.
So
right,
that's
Jeff?
what you're basing unity on, and so I have examples of opposition and unity. So do you think that there could be a mix and it's not a uniparty?
No,
there's just
Jeff.
Overlapping interests. That makes way more sense to me than this concept of this Jeff, so that Trump and Biden are actually coordinating with each other.
They have bullshit topics, Jeff, for retards, so they feel like they're fighting, Jeff, so that you feel good about voting for your flavor of high fructose corn syrup. Whether it's the cherry flavored or
how I feel
blueberry flavored one. That's what their job is.
I don't know. My explanation just sounds way simpler. There's actually two different competing sets of interest in the United States.
You feel like your vote matters, Jeff, and that's why everything.
None of those are you telling me how I feel is not an answer to us. So you don't want to have a rational discussion. I don't know what you're trying to do here, but it's definitely not Socratic dialogue. So I'll just back up and let the conversation do something.
Okay.
Else.
Chuck is here, so he wants a spot, so I'll give him a chance and see if he can answer for you.
Thanks
for stopping by, Jeff.
That was funny, Jeff. That was funny.
Okay, Chuck. So can you help your brother out here, since Jeff is unable to understand why we currently live under the Uniparty? Go ahead.
What up, Chuck?
I was here to save my queen, Jeff.
Go ahead, defend him, bro. You got your chance. So why are we really gonna vote our way out of this one? Go ahead.
Your uniparty is what I call the bureaucracy, not the people running, but the bureaucracy, the non-elected people. If we scale that back down where it's supposed to be, we won't have this problem. Hence Chevron reversal.
Do you think we're gonna vote our way out of this, Chuck? Do you think that's one of our options?
We got the best thing running on the planet at the moment.
Best
in history.
Yeah.
Hast thou not heard of Conservataria, the better option?
No, that's La La Land. That's Talcadia.
Chuck,
no, that's original America,
dream.
Chuck.
No,
Read
that's
your
pipe dreams.
Okay, never mind.
Read your
Those are
history
pipe
book, Chuck.
dreams.
That's the original America, Chuck. Read your history book.
My history book.
Yeah, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
You mean like the Federalist Papers?
Sort of. You're getting warmer, Chuck. You're getting warmer. So there was a libertarian government that focused on capitalism with Christian values. Do you remember that country?
I'm more of an article
kind of guy. No, there wasn't.
There wasn't? We didn't create a country called the United States of America?
What about Articles of Confederation, though, guys? Come on. Don't forget about that.
But my slavery, it's all about black people. We got to fight a civil war over the blacks. That's what it's not about the federal government.
Leave Oracle out of this now.
Hey.
Do you see how easy it is to fuck up very important things? All you got to do is throw in one little
I'm going to fuck you up, and you're not that important, I-Fi.
All right, hold on.
All right.
So here's...
Correct me.
Here's where we're kind of getting way off the thing. So, like, Chuck...
I don't remember the thing.
You used to work for the deep state, right? So you know that...
No, I used to work for the military.
Well, my point is, like, the deep state is running the show, and we have this kind of like you said, the bureaucracy, and I agree. So here's my thing is, like, why is there no real conversation of, like, how to capture the bureaucracy, since that is the seat of power in the system, right? I mean, it would follow instead of having, like, people who just showed up to this country like 3 years ago, and they're like, hey, let me get all my family into the city government, and then no wonder that they don't care about the American values, because they're bringing their own values, and I don't blame them. Thank God that they hold on to their values. But here in America, we forget about that.
As far as I know, that's been that way since Vietnam, but that's as far back as my memory goes. The guys that married these women from over there, and they get here, and as soon as they got their little card, it was adios, motherfucker.
Well, my point is this: like, why is no one trying to capture the bureaucracy if that's the seat of power? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Well, Donald Trump was attempting to do that. However, some of his advisors were ill-advising him.
Well, yeah, the deep state doesn't want people to actually do it. Let's assume that Trump really did want to change things. You think the deep state is just going to say, "Oh yeah, come and capture the bureaucracy"? That actually?
Oh no, they're not, because what you're going to wind up with is a JFK situation, or maybe a Ronald Reagan situation.
No, you right, Chuck. You right.
I mean, look what they did to RFK. That whole thing was a I don't know what to call it. The deal with RFK, especially after JFK, give me a break.
But here's the thing is, like, people are still talking about the Federal Reserve and all these things 100 years ago, which, yeah, it's important, but, they're about to put in a digital currency. So how are you going to protest when they can just, push a button and say, you don't have a bank account anymore, you don't have this, you don't have that. So you're not able to do business as usual if you have an opinion. So
I agree, because if they switch to the digital currency, just like we're at their mercy right now, all they got to do is flip a switch, and nobody's got no money. Or let me rephrase that: nobody's got access to their money. It's a bad move.
Hey, Chuck.
Bad move.
Can you see this guy on screen right now? Can you see your computer?
I'm trying.
Would you vote for this guy? Would you follow him into battle?
He looks familiar.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
His name wouldn't be Dwight, would it?
Yeah, it is. Good old Eisenhower.
And he didn't even want to run for president.
Yeah, but what did he say about that military you were just talking about? Can you enlighten us?
No, I can't. How about the bigger problem is your socialist programs?
Oh yeah, we definitely got a problem with socialism.
Look. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm trying to get at, guys. And I'm not trying to say you guys are dumb or something, but let me try to get what I'm trying to say.
What?
Like, if we give up the military-industrial complex as the predominant power in this world that kind of holds back whatever is going on, and look, I'm not saying that we should have a military-industrial complex. What I'm saying is, like, the rest of the world would love to have the resources of North America. Okay, they'd love to carve up Europe and shit. So, and they probably wouldn't manage it very well. So I'm just saying, like, would we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot to just say,
well, hold up though, Neuro. We would at least be fucking men if we stood on it and we lost, rather than what we're doing right now. So, although I get it, you're getting at the end result. I'm talking about the process that we would be selling. Well, not even we would be. We are selling our souls. So I don't even think the rest matters.
Well, there's a mic drop if I've ever heard one. So, what does it profit a man?
I didn't hear
if he gains the whole world.
I didn't hear what you said. Can you say that again?
I dropped the mic so hard. Nobody even heard.
You busted his eardrums. Go ahead again, so he can fix his earphones as well.
So I hear what you're saying, Nero. You're talking pragmatically, and I get it. My point is that by us continuing to go along with the military-industrial complex, we are selling our souls. So the rest doesn't matter. I'd rather us form against it, go against it, and lose than continue to go down this path of degeneracy.
Well, but wouldn't it be better just to seize the means of power legally, lawfully, of course? Like,
what do you mean we? You mean the higher ups in this country, the shadow government? Like, who is we?
What I mean is, like, wouldn't it be better to like be on the field and actually play for like leverage or something? Because here's what I'm saying: if you let them do whatever they're doing, and look, I'm not saying that we can go and fight them or anything like that, but what I'm saying is, like, they've worked very hard to keep people away from, putting together an effective labor movement. And now we're approaching a point where labor is not going to be that valuable anymore because they're going to build AIs and robots to replace us. So at that point, we're really totally at the mercy of whoever's running the little...
Well, hold on. I get what you're saying. I understand, but we are not at mercy. We are at the mercy of our own cowardice. The people could very easily stand up against this and force by numbers, and your whole entire argument would go down the fucking potty.
No, I got an idea.
I agree with you, but if it's so easy, why isn't it being done? That's what I'm trying
Because people are cowards. It was baked in. I said that.
How do you make them not cowards? Go ahead, Brown.
Well, I can't make them not cowards. That's for damn sure.
I think we could hijack the radio towers and produce the frequency of love, man.
Okay, first of all, TOS friendly.
Some hippie shit.
There
we go.
We're not doing any insurrections on panel, but we can peacefully rebel against our overlords.
We're just going to illegally broadcast Talcott's message to the world. So that
my cells, my choice. My cells, my choice.
So you guys can start the revolution on your own channel, but this is a peace, love.
Yo, fuck conservatarian. Never mind.
They did that in the 60s. It didn't work.
So,
guys tried it.
What do you guys think about like a Amish Free State Project kind of marriage where we just slowly
Amish
create an
inbreed.
community?
You want to inbred? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, retard.
I like their whiskey. Oh wait, is that Irish? Never mind. I don't like anything about the Amish.
So Chuck, is inbreeding more common in Amish communities or America? Do you have those stats on that we can bring up on channel or what?
No, Andrew Wilson has those.
Because
he's an inbred expert. No,
because
Brown's
my
right.
point, Chuck, is that the Amish are able at least to have conservative values and create a community of their own that is isolating itself from the government.
That's a fib. That's a fib.
Okay, they're a figment of my imagination. Please explain yourself.
Speak your clout, Chuck.
There's only a handful for show and tell purposes. The rest of them are allowed to live how they want. They don't live by the horse and buggy method. They live by the car and electricity method.
Yeah, no shit, Hi-Fi.
It's not as big as what you think, Hi-Fi.
Okay, hold on a second. Let's see if my thoughts are correct here. What's that say, Chuck?
God damn, I'm going to get my binoculars out.
Yeah, it says Amish population in U.S. states in 2019 from source who fucking knows.
Exactly.
I just made that in Paint.
Wikipedia.org, whatever.
Why are you making shit in GIMP and then putting it up?
So more than 70,000 is the dark green. 20K to 70K is the next step, and then 10K to 20K, so on and so forth.
Yeah, but even that is nothing. We're talking about versus 380 million. So
that's
I don't,
nothing. That map is
well, what does it all come to? What's the total?
What it all comes to is they have so large communities that you can completely disappear into it, and the government will never even know you exist.
So you're not going to answer. I got you.
So the answer is, not only are their communities so large, it's probably larger than whatever your gay.
So large that you can't say the number.
Let me tell
Amazing.
you
again.
I go to
Lowe's. Over 70K.
I go to Lowe's and they're there buying lumber. They're there buying product from the store.
It's like $2 million
in their car.
It's a lie. It's not.
I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is 2 mil.
Let me tell you why that's a bad idea, just in general. I mean, here's the thing. Like,
tell Hi-Fi why he done.
Okay, tell me a better idea after you're done telling me why it's a bad idea, Jack.
Well, let me tell you. This. So, if you look at let's just use Cambodia or China as an example. Okay, let's just say that America falls to China or Russia or somewhere else that kind of just says, let's go send people out to the fields and put them in a hole if they don't want to do that, right? Now, or let's just say that they take over the government more or less, and you have a more feudalistic style authoritarian government. The first thing they're going to do is reorganize things the way they did in China or Cambodia, and all that trying to stay away from the government stuff is going to go right out the window because you're going to be at the mercy of the mob who's been radicalized by the government. So, I'm just saying, like,
which is primarily okay. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's over 100 years ago. So now imagine now with all this technology and all the surveillance and all the other shit. Go ahead. Sorry, Browns.
I don't know what we're arguing.
What
we were arguing whether or not the Amish plus the Free State Project is a good step in the right direction, since obviously no one understands conservataria because it requires at least 2 brain cells to rub together. And so giving you real life examples that you can go see with your own eyeballs right now today is happening in real life. So if you take Amish communities plus the Free State Project, you will at least be heading in the right direction of conservataria.
Well, Free State Project got took over by LGBTQ woke communities, so I mean that failed. So yeah.
What about looking locally for yourself and meeting those people versus trying to get everybody through some internet thing? We all know they're not going to agree. We all know that's the biggest thing is they'll just not agree for whatever reason.
What message are you offering to get these people together, first of all?
I haven't these are your people that you're speaking about.
Are they?
Well, look, here's the thing.
Are you Irish or German?
I'm mixed Euro trash, and my wife is Asian. So
I only say that because those states
that
are
helpful?
those states have a lot of Irish and German people in them.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what your skin color is, what your original nationality is.
You're lying.
Well, you sure you
You're
want me to talk? I
lying.
was starting the insurrection earlier, but
I don't think he's lying. I think he's
I
more
do.
tiger.
Why
Yeah.
did he marry an Asian person then?
Because Asian women are a lot hotter than American women. They're feminazi
Uh-huh.
bitches.
So anyway, here's my point: is like if you try
That was
to hide
objective.
from the system's going to come and fuck you up. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
if you what?
By the way, GS wants to come up. So are you done, Chuck, or you just want to call me a
Okay,
liar?
throw me out.
All right,
I'm not leaving.
No,
Throw me
don't
off.
throw out Chuck.
You
All
can
right,
stay in the
we'll see you,
back, but
Chuck.
GS is really angry about something, so we'll see what he's
All
angry
right, all right. Let's feel his wrath.
You can come back, Chuck, but just
That's a bold-faced lie. I'm not angry.
all right, GS. So
Why are you so angry, GS?
I
are
know.
you ready to call me a liar? Go ahead, come at me, bro.
I hate communists. Wait,
Put us
liar
on the
about
big
what?
screen, MiFi. I can't see my avatar.
This is the Free State Project mission statement.
Nobody gives a fuck.
All right, well then we'll
So-
go back to the MICs because that's y'all's favorite topic. So there you go.
MICKEYMOUSE.
MOUSE.
Mickey Mouse.
Who's the leader of the club that's made for you and me?
Reminds me of Full Metal Jacket every time I hear that.
GS, did you get your pom-poms ready?
I'm cheering you on. When is it happening?
Tomorrow.
No.
I thought it was
When
supposed to
you
be
said-
today.
Well,
talking
it
about-
was, but Andrew didn't show up, and then he reached out and requested to do it tomorrow, and I said, okay. So it's going to be on Tomatoes channel tomorrow
All
night.
right, cool. I like that.
How
I
about
like that
Owen
a lot.
Benjamin?
What is? Oh, never mind.
I like it a lot. What's that?
Is Owen Benjamin going to show up to the debate?
Yes, yes.
Really?
So GS,
No.
since Chuck failed the military test, can you please provide him the correct answer for the military-industrial complex? Do you support it or not? Yes or no?
Wasn't it Eisenhower that talked about it?
Sure, but do you support it? Yes or no? Are you for
Do
it
I
or
sup-
against it?
Am I for the military-industrial complex, or am I?
Yeah,
against-
part of the deep state that's controlling your uniparty and your wasted votes and taking all your tax money and bombing brown people for oil prices and shit like that.
Was I unwittingly for it? Yes.
But
now
now
that-
that you know, GS.
Now that I know better, I am not a big fan.
All right, Chuck. See, it's not hard. All you have to do is learn from your mistakes. It's okay. We all make mistakes. The important
what-
part is that you
Wait,
learn.
what was? Drop me down in the basement. I want to hear what Chuck had to say.
Oh,
about
okay, let's see what Chuck has to say about it. Go ahead, Chuck. Educate GS on why he did what?
What was the question?
Oh, somebody dropped out. GS,
I was drying my tears.
somebody dropped out, so now you're all on panel. Good job.
All right,
Okay,
educate
what's
me.
the question there, I-Fi?
The question is, do you support the deep state and its control of the uniparty with agents such as the MIC and Big Pharma and all the mainstream media and all that other shit?
MIC. What's
The military
MIC?
industrial complex, motherfucker, keep up.
Hey, GS, Rance was up here earlier. He called you a faggot, just so you know.
How dare
Ooh.
he? That's because I wouldn't let him fuck me.
Stop derailing, Chuck.
Well, he called me one as well, but
Stop
he was wrong
derailing,
about.
Chuck.
No. We
company then.
We not derailing this. This is all very professional.
Chuck. So, do you support the
military-
MIC or no? Yes.
The military-industrial complex that Eisenhower spoke of is not what we have today.
Oh yeah, it's
What
way
we ha-
bigger. I
what-
agree. It's like
What
you know,
we
these
have
Girl
is a
Scouts back then.
privatized. Just look at Benghazi. They had
And
was
Bin
it
Laden.
Black Rock or whatever the hell they're called.
Yeah, all those Lockheed Martins, all those dudes.
No. Civilians. They had civilians guarding the embassy. Never should have happened. It should have been the United States government defending our places.
Yo, you guys, I never come up with these like ridiculous hypotheticals. I listen to many of them, so I hope you guys don't mind if I say one.
Go for it, bro.
Go ahead.
But for a real thought experiment, let's say right now, nuclear bombs don't actually exist. Let's say it was like a conspiracy theory and that like, okay, it doesn't exist. How do you think that would affect the world and how people daily activities
They
based on
do
knowing
exist,
that.
and even if we're reducing the numbers, it doesn't matter. Too many people have them now, so it's a moot
They
argument.
do exist. I will vouch for that.
This reminds me of that Eminem Santa Claus commercial where they both found out that they existed at the same time, and the Eminem guy fainted. They all
So
fainted.
the people
Not
in
really.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki have pretty good evidence that they exist, and so
Oh, you mean the cities that were made out of teak wood and paper
yeah,
that burnt down?
that
Yeah,
got
that's good evidence that a
incinerated
firebomb hit
nuclear
them.
bombs are pretty sure
No,
they're real.
actually, I'll agree with GS on this right here. See, these people will trust that a camera can film an atomic bomb without being destroyed, but they won't see a camera look past the
Moon's
curve.
made out of cheese. The flat Earth confirmed. I
The
get it.
camera works when we want it to.
This
Oh,
is why we
Lord.
can't get shit done.
Anthrax, Corona, the jab. Go on, Ni-Fi.
AIDS.
Yes,
measles, mumps,
Fauci was
rubella,
tied to AIDS
polio.
and
Chlamydia.
Fauci.
So
And
guys,
death
make
in
polio
them.
great again. We need to get people
Gonorrhea.
anti-vaxxers.
All
We
right,
need to get
all right.
everyone to be anti-vaxxers. We need
Legionnaire's
to make
disease.
polio great again.
Syphilis.
So anyways, I understand there's a lot of corruption and bullshit going on, conspiracies. We all know that. That doesn't mean the moon's made out of cheese, and it doesn't
Cutting
mean
your dick off is actually normal.
Yeah, gonorrhea or herphalades is my favorite.
But
disease.
today
You're gay if you don't cut your dick off.
Yeah. What kind of
Today
queer
might have
wouldn't
been
cut their
a
own
big
dick off?
step
It's
in the
Pride
right
Month.
direction with the overturning of Chevron.
Hey, Chuck, will you join me in cutting your dick off in honor of Pride Month?
I don't think so.
Bigot. You're such a bigot.
Sodomy actually makes the anus stronger.
He said, "I don't think so."
If the good Lord, if the good Lord wanted me to be dickless, I wouldn't have had a dick when I was born.
Let me sleep on it, baby, let me sleep on it.
Somebody need to clip that. I don't think
Let
so.
me sleep on it. I'll cut off my dick in the morning. I got
Well,
Well, if you want to,
unfortunately,
GS, that's your
I already
business.
did it.
All right, GS, that's your
did
one
he?
song for the night.
All right.
Is that why he's got no bass in his voice?
Let him
Bass?
sing one more time. Yeah,
No,
yes,
because
that's
you're gonna
part of
kick
it.
me. I'm not. No, I-Fi got my back.
Nobody kicking
I'm
you.
not kicking anybody unless there's someone.
You got to
who-
rage quit. That's the only way to leave this fucking conservatory.
Oh, you
So
missed
the
it. I went
military-industrial
off on-
complex, you guys were coping with the fact that you're under all this control, and a lot of it that you don't even know. But we're going to try to fix it.
Communist Finkel came up on my panel today, and he actually held his own against a bunch of people that didn't like communists.
I still say
No, he
hijacking the
didn't.
radio towers is the best idea, but
I don't think so, GS. He was weak.
Well, I mean, he was strong in the fact that he was so indoctrinated that he really believed what he was saying. I could tell he believed what he was saying.
If he
I'm not
followed
saying
any
it was
more
right.
to the left, it would be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying he was right in what he believed, but I mean, he was so sure in what it was that he was
Oh
believing.
yeah, that's a
Oh,
fact.
look at they got CC on. Try
I
to
should have
bridge.
came up there. I would have came up there. I
Oh
didn't
no!
see
Listen,
it. I wasn't around.
you, me, and Flo, and a few other people, probably DL. I want us all to talk about the that time when the planes landed into the buildings and stuff.
Yeah. No. I got into this last night with DL, actually.
Good.
He was up like 3 a.m., tipsy. I think he just got back from the bar or something.
So was it an inside job, GS? What are you saying?
Wait, what are you
He
saying?
was a wee bit drunk.
The Twin
He was a
Towers.
wee bit. Yeah, I had to paywall it a little bit. But no, it was a good,
Wait
Twin
a minute.
Tower
Are y'all
thing.
saying that we created the terrorists in the Middle East and we funded and trained them? Is that what you guys are trying to tell me?
no.
Don't derail our conversation on your platform, iFi.
I'll be glad when iFi's balls drop and he gets a little bass to that. Boy.
I can't wait till iFi leaves so we can all talk.
Nobody know the trouble
I've seen. Nobody knows.
I can't
but
wait until
Jesus.
Chuck
Are you
remembers.
guys enjoying your slavery?
Yeah. I can't remember. I can't wait until Chuck remembers that Kung Flu was real, and that's why my throat has been fucked for the past 7 months, and that's why I can't ever.
No. That was Dick.
No, it's
I'm sure it
different.
has nothing to do with talking on the internet for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
By the way,
that-
Chuck,
or that schlong. Yeah.
was the coronavirus created in a weapons lab in Wuhan, China, partly funded by Fauci and the NIH? What's your
it was
thoughts?
actually created in Fort Detrick. It was found out to be there, and they needed to move it out. because they found out. They moved it to Canada. It was allowed to be allegedly stolen by Chinese spies and moved to Wuhan, where it was intended to be unleashed all along.
Hold on, I want to hear Chuck's thought on this. And Chuck, is the reason why the mainstream media is not allowed to talk about it is because the CCP and the Uniparty work so well together that they basically fund each other? Is that why,
Don't trust
Chuck?
China. China's asshole.
Is that why, Chuck? Does the CCP own the DNC? Is that why they're not allowed to talk about it, which controls the mainstream media, which also controls
Why are
the
you
Uniparty?
picking on Chuck all of a sudden?
Because he knows about all this
No.
deep state shit. He's going to educate us on it.
It's because of Chevron, dumbass.
Show
What
me
does
on the
Chevron
dolly.
have to do
I-Fi.
with
I-Fi. Show me on the dolly where Chuck touched you. Show me
Yeah.
on the dolly.
It was in my no-no place.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square.
AKA Chuck grabbed I-Fi by the pussy. We all know this.
We heard it
I
here.
need an adult.
All right.
I
What
bet
are we
you
watching?
do.
What are we watching?
Oh, we're just watching the greatest hits for
Okay,
the
that was a very long.
debate tomorrow.
Okay, never mind.
Backbiters and duplicitous backbiting.
Oh, that would be you. That would be you, I-Fi.
Yep. I'm always backbiting with my duplicitous backbiting.
Oh wait, am I on? I'm on your guys'. Oh,
They
I got
spanked you
based
pretty
and
good
I-Fi?
that day. I watched it.
I'm gonna get blacklisted. Shit.
Oh,
good
yeah.
Good thing I'm gonna be showing up on Sarah's channel tomorrow.
Yep.
I don't think she'll blacklist me.
Then we'll finally figure out who wins the final debate.
We'll get to the bottom of the
You're going to be
Scooby-Doo mystery.
blackballed.
Blue balled?
The great blackballed. The
Actually,
great
I think
Andrew
there's an
Wilson.
argument to be made that Based Oracle is the grifter because the original premise was he was going to pay $1,000 for an in-person debate, and he got it for free. Good job, Based.
He grifted himself.
Hold on.
Well, he paid me $1,000. He paid
but
me
hold on,
$1,000,
I did
but
not
It wasn't for a debate.
I didn't misrepresent anything. Andrew chose not to accept $1,000 by forfeiting the debate, and then now apparently he felt the pressure of my memes. What up, Andrew? I know you listening. And he reached out to set up a debate on live stream tomorrow.
What?
Yes.
You
You got
the
that
lady
right.
got
Wait a minute.
protest too much.
So basically, he did exactly what I said he would do from day one, months
Wait a
ago.
minute. Today's
I will.
the
You can't use that
28th.
against him in the debate, though.
Oh, I sure will.
It's
No,
almost
don't
like you're
do
an
it. Don't do it
oracle.
because it's a mute point.
No,
He's
no,
almost like
it's not a
Beast is an
moot
oracle.
point in terms of. Well, I won't get into it. Let's
Okay,
just
well, I
go
don't
with
know.
what
I
Brown
just
said.
figured you got to give him graciousness and be like, oh, something may have came up. That way he can't cry about that little point, which is less than his
No,
grifting point.
no, you're right. I'm going to be ultra charitable.
Whose dictionary are you going to use, Base?
It depends on what is.
The
I do not
only
have
one.
relations with that woman.
Because
Which
Mr.
is mine.
Wilson has a bad habit of changing definition.
Oh, that's
As he
okay.
goes.
I'm coming prepared. But no, you're right though, Chuck. But I'm coming prepared.
Hey, how much longer are you going to be on here, I5? So I don't want to promote people and pull them here if you're just
Exactly 14 minutes.
I don't really have a schedule.
Hey, let's all go over to Flow Stream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
right
go
on
to Flow.
Flow Stream.
Yeah.
Let's go to
All
Flow.
right. We'll see you guys.
He's not.
He's always
he doesn't-
stealing
he
my
doesn't even have a
clout,
stream.
man.
I bet
He's
he
always
doesn't even have a
stealing my
stream.
clout, watching my streams.
Fucking have fun over there.
Do you see the one where Emperor Dave went over to
Flow
his
is on.
stream when I invited him onto my stream? I was like, dude, why do you have to watch my stream from Flow State? That doesn't
Whoa,
make any sense.
whoa, where'd Chuck go? Chuck just left.
He ran over to Flow State. You scared him. He was like, Flow Street.
Shit,
woo!"
Chuck. I didn't mean it. Well, actually, I did. But either way.
Did you guys know that in 2020 the most washed body part was not actually the hands? It was the
The
brain.
mouth.
It should have been the dick.
I thought
Everyone
it was your
brushes their
balls.
teeth.
Isn't that what the ball soap?
No,
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 it
no.
was
For real
definitely
though,
the brain.
you should wash your butthole and your all that stuff. I mean that is what could get needing cleaning more than right. I'm just saying.
But that's
All
Andrew's
I
problem.
know is
That's
shampoo
Andrew's problem.
washes everything. I don't know
That's
why
his
they ever-
problem.
Yeah,
Well,
he
hold
can't-
on. Brown's onto something. Go
He
on.
can't wash his ass when someone else's mouth is sewed to it.
I was
Oh,
thinking
that's
that.
the problem.
Right.
It's like the human centipede.
He considers another man's
Maybe.
tongue to be cleaning.
I don't know.
see where you're going with that.
I don't
Never
So,
go
so
ass
you
to
like to
mouth.
get your Kool-Aid from the source, is what you're saying. You don't want to wait until it's distributed.
This got real degen real quick.
Well, Based Oracle, would you say that the Glock 9000 is the reason why his throat's been sore for the last 7 months?
Whoa. Glock?
Yeah, the Glock 9000.
Oh. I see.
Are you still trying to rip on my Kung Flu, dude? It's not my imagination.
No, I agree. I've had the same weird thing for the last 3 years.
I have a quick gun question while we're just doing random stuff. If anybody, I don't really know much about, but I've seen these things online where they're called like Glock clips or something, but they go on the back and it'll make them like 3-round, or it'll make them automatic. Is like this. They're made by Glock. They're highly illegal, but I just thought they were interesting. So
No, I have not seen that. I've had a few Glocks, but I didn't see that.
It's like this little tiny thing you put on the back of the slide. Oh, that's it. Switch. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't know anything about it because I like to hit what I'm aiming at and not be a little retard, make a lot of noise all at once.
I like to do both. I like to be a retard and hit the shit I'm aiming at.
Yeah, good luck, bro. Why don't you get yourself a bump stock and see how that works for you?
I've had no problems thus far.
With a bump stock?
On a Glock?
No, I'm talking about something that makes you shoot automatic and get rounds on target accurately.
I like to raise packs of wolves and release the hounds because sometimes I don't aim so good, so I like nature to do all the heavy lifting for me.
Chuck is over there on the panel, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including Flo. So I'm gonna go over there. I love you. Buddy.
All right, later.
All right, we'll see you.
Hi.
I'm gonna beat.
And there goes the panel. See, Flo State's always stealing all my viewers, man. Why is he got steal my
funny?
Okay, so I think the Andrew Wilson debate is finished. He won once again. Base ran away like a chicken, and so I think we got our final answer. Any final thoughts or derail or a whole new topic? I guess I'm good for a little while if you guys want to yak.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win for Base because if he goes over to Flo's, in this short time of promotion, sorry, to
now you got a Kung Flu, bro. So you sound just like me.
For this debate, for this little bit of promotion for this debate, he's a win-win because he's triple winning because he's hanging out with Flo's audience who's like half-baked, twice-baked potatoes.
Yep.
And so like he's going to get exposure for this debate, which is totally cool. And then, but we'll see if how many of those potatoes can actually make a light bulb glow.
I'm just glad I could do my
There's light bulbs. There's glowing. There's potatoes.
Yep.
And so he wins exposure-wise, and then even if the debate doesn't go on, he still wins exposure-wise. It's pretty cool for him.
I'm just glad I was able to do my part because sometimes I feel like the little guy who's not really helping out, but then I was able to get Andrew Wilson to actually reschedule the debate, and so that was pretty cool.
Oh,
you didn't see that?
What do you mean you got him to reschedule? Oh, from one of the times that it didn't work out prior or something?
I mean, he called off the whole thing.
Oh.
And this was just going to be a roast of Andrew Wilson. But he was so scared of us completely destroying his entire reputation that he decided to go, oh, actually, I meant to reschedule it with Sarah's channel. That's it. Tomorrow, yeah. Totally coincidence. It had nothing to do with the stream tonight. So,
how did you convince him or whatever to get back on with it?
Because this whole stream was about how he pussied out and backed out of the debate, and we were just going to roast him for 4 or 5 hours. But instead, he rescheduled it for tomorrow to make it sound like I didn't back out of the debate. What are you guys talking about?
Okay.
Do you see how that works, dude?
Yeah,
anyway,
I do.
So good for me. I got him to reschedule, and now the debate is back on. So even though he wouldn't do it for free, and I totally would have been a moderator and just backed out and then let them two go at it, and not interfere or anything like that. But he couldn't show up here for free. That's too hard. Yeah.
I mean this in good faith. That picture you're showing, that's exactly what I imagine you look like.
That's exactly what I look like. That's me.
I'm not even kidding you.
So, anyways, like I said, I'm done with the drama and bullshit. Oh, by the way, Browns Boy, I don't know if you're a fan of my channel, but my next stream is going to be the death of libertarianism. So, if you want to stop by for that one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm subscribed. I've been subscribed since I was like your 23rd subscriber or something like that.
Which will be my final political stream for this round, because I only check back with humans like every 5 years or so. And so I used to be like a really angry Discord debater. I used to go on all of the political discords and shit and debate anyone and everyone. And I started to notice a pattern, first of all, before the trannies kicked me, but when I was still allowed to speak on that platform, I noticed a pattern where, like, by the way, I think I've been on the Crucible before. That's why it rang a bell. I was like, Crucible, that sounds familiar. But anyways, I think I debated on there a long time ago. But anyways, I debated lots of those Ortho Bro channels anyway, so that's why it's nothing.
Oh man, that's a lot of work, man. I couldn't do that.
So I followed the fads and the flows and the streams, and so I saw where everything was going, and that's why I just basically gave up, because I was like, the audience.
Well, you could tell it was organized, right?
It's more evil and retarded than organized, and this is why I don't follow the conspiracy theory path of life, because a lot of people think there's like these alien lizard people, super geniuses planning all this shit, but it's more just evil retards clumping together in large masses like zombie hordes and shit. And so it feels overwhelming, because then you have like 100K subscribers on Wilson's YouTube channel or whatever. And so you feel like, oh, this is some kind of weird conspiracy where the lizard people are psyoping us into believing that he's the chosen one or whatever. When in reality, it's just a bunch of evil retards clicking on the blood sports clickbait, drama and stuff like that. And so that's why I just don't even check in anymore. I'm completely checked out at this point. I'm like, have fun, humans. I'll be in my bunker in the woods if you need me. But sometimes I get really bored, and that's how I ended up on the panelverse. So here I am. But it was fun. So, anyways, the next stream is going to be called "The Death of Libertarianism," which that was the only political party I was going to take serious for a while. And Dave Smith imploded it, and so now I have 1/3 of conservatarian missing. So there's no point in arguing it anymore, because now no one is taking it serious. So we'll see. I don't know. I still got Daisy. Daisy's my one ray of hope left. I'm going to talk to her about religion, and that's it. That's all I care about anymore. I'm out of all the stuff.
The last thing I have to say, I'm appreciative that you do this. I've learned a lot from you. So I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And Machine too, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love open discussions and deep thoughts. Good job, Machine. We did our little part. See, you're in the picture too, Machine. You're also doing your part.
Yeah, we got to get on back with this, discussion shit instead of this fucking
drama,
fake beef, and then the fake debates.
Yep.
Yeah.
Over fake topics. You know what I mean? So. Like I straight up told Andrew Wilson, I said, and this is not just once. I tell everybody this. I say, look, let's talk online or offline about this shit. I do this shit I don't even give a fuck about the audience, honestly. I'm just like have a 1-to-1 conversation, like even with my baby brother or some shit. Like it doesn't even matter. Right? Like who I'm talking to, like it could be a fucking 18-year-old. It's still the same shit. I would say the same shit.
Yeah, I tried to target different audiences, because the older crowd are kind of set in their ways, so they're not really open to any new ideas or original thought or anything. And if you get too young, like high school and shit, they have no fucking clue what you're talking about. They're like, "What's politics, bro?" And so you got to kind of wait until they start to form an opinion, and then try and tap into
and
that.
I told my wife today, like, this freebie shit is over. You're gonna have to get in there like Rachel Wilson and become a public figure at this point. Like,
yep.
Shit is like straight up. I was saying, like, yo, you got to take a few hits, like at this fucking internet sphere.
I still want to debate her, though. I think that would be a legitimate debate, as opposed to Andrew, who's just all blood sports bullshit.
No, you can't really legitimately debate a female, because like most people are gonna support the female for being the underdog, so it's just not fair.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Well,
Like, I think that I think that Andrew is serious though. Like, I think that he's serious. Whatever his mission is, I think that he is serious. I don't think he's a. I think you can. I don't know. I think that saying someone's a grifter kind of detracts from the fact that, like, it's like calling Alex Jones a grifter. Like, is Alex Jones a grifter, or did he really have a mission? He may not have had the mission that people wanted him to have, but that dude was not motivated by money alone. There's no way, in my opinion. You know.
The easy answer is if you're on YouTube, you're a grifter. So that's how you know if you're a grifter or not.
Well, you're on YouTube right now, so
Exactly. I'm just here for the money. I just want the big bucks from my 1 viewer, 2 viewers.
No, but I'm the same way. Like, I would love to talk to these people offline or online. Like, whatever their mission is, like, you know, I think that there's really serious, like, stakes going on. And, you know, I mean, you got to dumb things down for 100,000 people. That's for sure.
Yeah, no shit.
1,000 thing. If I had 100,000 subscribers, like, my content would be, like, disgusting, I'm sure. Like, you know, there's no way that you can
I don't think it's a numbers problem. Even if I had like 10 million subscribers, how many of them do you think would understand what I'm talking about when I talk about conservataria? You know, it's like you got people like Chuck that are like, "Oh, this is fairy tale shit you're talking about, Fi. That's not reality."
Here's the truth. I think it's like this. It's like talking to a woman, kind of what Machine was just saying. It's like it's like
can't debate them.
They understand what you're saying. They just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's really the problem is, like, you're dealing with, like, you know, 90% women, even the men. So it's like, you know, you just, at the end of the day, you're either going to have to, like, you know, massage people's fucking egos, or you're just going to have to, like, you know, watch them throw themselves into the meat grinder or whatever is going to happen. You know, like, I think that's really the situation we're in. It's like, you either going to have to, like, play the game of massaging people's egos, or you're just going to, like, just watch them destroy themselves. And I think like, people are just not listening. I mean, they hear you, they understand you, they just don't care, right? Like, it's like talking to someone who's, like, morbidly obese. Like, they know they have a problem, but you telling them that they have a problem is not going to motivate them. You know what I mean? It's like,
Do you guys know who this gentleman is on the picture? Do you
no,
recognize him?
it's like you. I think that's you.
No, that's not me. Do you recognize that guy, TML?
Is that Dr. Stephen Meyer?
No.
Who the fuck is that?
Oh man, that was a good guess, but no, it's Charles Cook, the guy who wrote the book, The Conservatarian Manifesto. He's a ex-British who ran away from Britain because of obvious reasons. You know, why would anyone stay in
He's
Britain?
that's like the most fugazi beard I've ever seen. Like, he should just shave his face. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's where I stole the word from, because I was trying to think of just like a catchy term that kind of describes what I was trying to portray. But anyways, if you've seen my interview with Jacob Winograd, that's the best you're going to find, you know, in this country anymore. Is they identify themselves as Christian libertarians, which obviously has problems with it. TML, you can probably guess why. That's not very good branding. But anyways, after a little bit, go ahead.
No, I don't know. I just think that the thing is, whoever really wants to take this situation seriously, either you're going to have to be like, burn it all down, or you're going to have to be like, you got to be like an expert marketing network of people that know how to, like, get people to stop being nihilistic. I think that's really the problem. Like, you got to go one way or the other. I mean, there's no real, I mean, if there's another way, I'd have no idea what it would be, but that's just kind of my hot take real quick.
Well, I keep giving answers, but there's no one intelligent enough in the audience to understand my answers. So there's the problem. But anyways, I think it's physically possible to combine the Free State Project with the Amish community model and create conservataria, but again, there's no audience for it. So who am I gonna appeal to? And Jack left, so it's just me and you, TML. What do you think? You and me, bro. Can we do it?
Well, it's funny in the debate that I had with Wilson, he actually used the Amish as an example. Did you catch that part, or did
No, I
you?
missed that. I'm gonna have to go back
Yeah,
and watch that.
yeah. He said, yeah, he used the Amish as an example, and I said, well, the Amish have to deal with technological changes as well.
Yeah,
That
that's
was my
true.
answer.
Yep.
Uh,
And so there's always variables, which good and intelligent people can figure out. So it's not something that's impossible, but it just requires good and intelligent people to solve the problems in life. So I gave all the answers, but unfortunately, I'm just like Rand Paul. I'm preaching to an empty room full of my supporters. so so maybe me and Rand Paul can hang out and figure out if our empty rooms will support us in the upcoming revolution, and maybe we can be on the winning side. Who knows? We'll see. In the meantime, I'll be in my bunker in the woods if you need me. So, talking to Daisy about religion. So I'm so glad I found Daisy, because I was about to just completely delete my YouTube channel and just sign off, to the internet for a while, probably for another 10 or 20 years. But she gave me inspiration. So I think I'll start talking about religion soon to see if anyone's interested in that topic, since no one wants to hear about saving our country or politics or culture or anything
that would
like
be a
that.
good segue from the death of libertarianism to
Yep.
talking about religion. You say, well, the reason it's dead is because of these religious issues, and then you could talk about the religious shit.
Ooh, that
Right?
could be juicy.
How about that?
Um,
Segue.
I hope you're able to panel up with me from time to time, because even though
Oh yeah, yeah,
obviously I'm going to be talking about Christianity a lot, but
yeah. Just give me a shout there.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. But again, I don't want my audience to feel like I'm being like, facetious or like, flippant or whatever, because before it sounded like I was gung ho conservatarian and like all about the Libertarian Party and shit like that. But in recent events, I've realized again, it's just such a complete waste of time, especially when the Libertarian Party itself won't even take itself serious. We're right back to Vermin Supreme territory, which I don't know if you understand that inside joke, but are you familiar with him?
yes, we've become familiar with this,
Oh, okay. So
unfortunately.
we're back to Vermin Supreme territory when regarding discussions of the Libertarian Party. So that's why I'm out, because I'm like, as much as I love a good meme as the next guy, um, I've just got better things to do with my time. You know what I mean? Like, I got like a sock drawer to organize, and I got to wash my hair, and just all kinds of stuff. So, anyways, they had a
Is
good
that him
run.
right there? Vermin
Yeah,
Supreme.
that's glorious leader right there. There's the leader of your Libertarian Party once again. He took over when the Ron Paul revolution failed, and now that the Dave Smith fart failed, now it's back to Vermin Supreme. He is the one true leader of the Libertarian Party. By the
Yeah, I
way,
think I feel like I should get like a circle hat and name myself Oink Badoink and like
yeah,
challenge
yeah,
him to like a
and
battle.
challenge him, say like, no, don't vote for him, vote for me. So this is the reason why I think that people like Andrew Wilson feel so confident when they call libertarians like pussies and retards and shit like that. Because can you blame him? I mean, look at the Libertarian Party. Does anyone take it serious? And so we'll talk about it. I got one more stream left in me. We're gonna put the final nail in the coffin. If you caught the interview with Jacob, you already know where that conversation's going. But I'm just gonna tell everybody that just in case you thought there was still a shred of hope for the libertarians, then I will make sure that you're not in delusional land. So it's dead. Rest in peace. Pour one out for good old LP. Anyways, that was my whole spiel about the conservataria, and so obviously I'm still Christian, and obviously I'm still a capitalist, because once we go back to the Stone Age after the next big brouhaha, we're definitely going to revert back to our anarchist origins, which a lot of humans don't understand. That is the default position. Without a government, you're just a bunch of anarchists running around, doing your little house against their house, and then tribes form, and then the socialists show up, and then we're right back to the authoritarian governments. But until then, we can hope for the days where anarchists are smart enough to form a libertarian government, which would keep the authoritarians at bay, and we would have a chance at creating conservataria. But that requires at least 2 or 3 good and intelligent people, which I'm afraid there aren't any left. So maybe that's the final outro here. So you'll hear all about it on my final libertarian stream, and then after that, it's just going to be me and Daisy and TML talking about the one true religion and the one true church who worships the one true God. Sound good?
Yeah, Daisy's the real deal.
She's the real deal. I'm so glad I found Daisy. And it's so funny that we've been talking to each other since the Gen X Jeff days of when I used to frequent Gen X Jeff panels. I remember bumping into Daisy every once in a while, and I thought she was one of my haters because she was always like, you're one of those Christians that thinks you're the only Christian. And I was like, maybe I am, bitch. So what? And so once we got to talking, I was like, oh, now I feel bad for being kind of mean to her before, because I use that as a filter just to get rid of all the people that aren't serious about it anyway. So maybe Aunt Dearest will take me back after I said something very rude to her once, but I don't know. Maybe she's a nice lady too. But anyways, for anyone who I turned off before with all my memes and politics and stuff, I apologize, because I am a real Christian, but I didn't want to derail every single politics thread into religion. But now that's the only thing I'm going to talk about. So after that, I'm done skis. I'm just going to get off the internet and wish humanity good luck, and thanks for all the fish. So bunkers being built. Today was significant progress. Got some concrete poured. And so bunker is being assembled as we speak. so pretty soon I'm not going to feel the desire to get back into humanity's dumb shit. And so did you hear my idea for Idiocracy, for a new comedy movie when I was on Glenn's panel the other day?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll spoil it for you. So I have an idea for a new movie, a great comedy that we could all watch and enjoy. So you're familiar with the movie Idiocracy, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, so you've seen that movie. You know those memes. So imagine a movie where in the Idiocracy universe, they decide to make a movie called Idiocracy, and we are the movie. While they're watching the movie, they're just watching us. And it's just, Trump Biden debates, and humans trying to figure out how many genders there are, or whether or not the earth is round or flat, and just the really deep shit that would really blow the minds of the Idiocracy universe. And so that's my idea for a new comedy show. Feel free to steal it and make it a movie, and make it like Memeception or something like that. So that's where I'm at as far as all of these conversations.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when Beavis and Butthead watched the real music videos. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they're like commenting on the fucking.
This sucks.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It could be something like that, where it's like characters in Idiocracy like sit on the television and they're watching like
they're
YouTube
watching
videos.
Ouch My Ball or Ow My Balls and stuff like that, and then the next movie comes on.
Yeah, like they're live reacting to like famous YouTube videos or some shit.
And then they turn on Netflix, and there's a comedy movie called Idiocracy, and it's just our world. They're just watching our world. They're like, holy shit, these people are fucking retarded. I'll be like, yeah, I feel you, bro. They definitely are. So
yeah, there's a South Park episode like that too, where it's like, you know what I mean?
I think South Park is doing the Lord's work. What do you think?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's
I don't know how many times I've had conversations with Mormons about how funny South Park is, especially the Mormon episode. But it's funny how sometimes comedy kind of slips in there. That little crack in your brain that you're supposed to be blocking out outside criticism and shit. And sometimes it just slips right in there, and you're like, "Huh, that is kind of funny." You know what I mean? So I think there's ways to reach people. I just wish it wasn't so hard. Like, why do people have such thick skulls? I haven't figured that part out yet, but I don't know. Maybe we are just a bunch of hairless monkeys. I'll be a monkey's uncle.
no. I think the most interesting thing about the show South Park is that the main character is Jewish.
Uh huh. It was the Jews all along. I knew it. Oh, by the way, we can talk about the Jewish question on my channel too until it gets shut down. But here's a couple. Did I already ask you about my thoughts on Twitter X? Did I tell you about that? About why I got kicked off it?
No.
Oh,
That's interesting because
let me ask
it would
your
seem.
feelings. Let me ask
I
your
mean, it would
feelings.
seem like it takes a lot to get kicked off of it
Okay,
nowadays.
so you remember when Elon took over, right, and said all this free speech bullshit?
Right. So you got kicked
Okay,
off after that?
so I jumped on to Twitter X because I didn't even bother with original Twitter. Original Twitter is complete garbage, so I wasn't even going to try and get on. I jumped on Twitter X after Elon took over and said, "Free speech, who wants it?" I said, "Me, me, me, me." So I jumped up and signed on. Shortly after that, I got a bunch of warnings. First of all, for hurting left-wing people's feelings about abortion or something. That was my first hate speech warning. And then I got kicked off for asking Elon why we have to ask Ben Shapiro and the ADL which speech is allowed on the platform.
Damn. Yo, did you save that tweet?
No, I can't even log into my own account anymore.
Fuck.
So
Yo, that'd be dope if you still have the tweet that got you kicked off because that is a bold, like,
So the
holy
next
shit.
day, I
That
couldn't
would
log on
expose the
to
shit
my
out of them.
account, and I was banned for hate speech or something like that, or something again. And so, but this time I couldn't log in. The first time I could log in, but they were like, "You've had your warning. You better not, cross that line again." By the way, the first line I crossed was I was arguing with abortion feminazis about how proud they are of their abortions. Like they go around bragging how many babies they killed. And I was like, you realize you're murdering babies, right? And so I think that language got me kicked off, so you're not allowed to call it baby murder. It's like, baby unaliving or whatever the correct term is. Anyways, but the question that got me banned from the platform, because like I said, I can't log in order to even see my own account anymore, was asking Elon Musk. It was a direct quote to Elon Musk because he was talking about how he's getting ready to visit the Wailing Wall or something with Ben Shapiro because he accidentally offended some Jews or something, or I can't remember what the deal was about. And so I asked Elon, I said, "Why does Ben Shapiro and the ADL get to decide what is free speech or allowable speech or something like that to that effect?" And that was it. That's what got me banned from free speech land, according to Senior Musk. So, anyways, apparently I got my answer. So apparently they are allowed to decide what is hate speech or not, because you're not even allowed to ask the question on that platform. So that was neat. I learned something new about the Jews that day. So now I'm more like Neurojack, where now I think the Jews control everything. It's like the Jews.
Yeah, they control my damn life. All right, my wife's fucking Jewish. Fucking sucks.
But anyways, they're just another brick in the wall of the deep state, which we all know and love. So, yay, deep staters, you guys win. So, I hope the deep state gets so big that they can't control it. Eventually, if you let like everyone into the club, it's gonna fuck itself over eventually. So, that's my theory. Humans. Anyways, my voice is gone, so that's the end of the Fi stream. You can do all the talking now if you want to, and I'll just post pictures in the background or whatever. But any thoughts or feelings?
We've reached the end of the road, sirs.
We have
Gonna
reached
go
the
on
end
fucking
of the based
Mortal Kombat
oracle,
or whatever, verbal combat or whatever.
the based oracle Andrew Wilson debate. It was a great debate. I'm so glad we all were here to witness the debate between those two.
Wait, so this shit's actually happening tomorrow. So, like,
allegedly.
So, like, you know, like Raging Tomato. Yeah, like I don't know that lady at all. You know,
She's a Catholic lady that likes to bring anyone and everyone on and just kind of sip and stream kind of stuff. She occasionally moderates debates, which is hilarious because now she's, going to moderate one of the big ones, which should have happened a long time ago. But anyways, yeah, she's pretty chill. She's one of those, like talk show type gals that just kind of has everybody on and talks about random shit. But I don't think you're really missing anything deep, anything or whatever. So, but if you want to go check it out, go ahead. She's nice. I like talking to her just to shoot the shit. Like if you don't have anything like deep or serious to talk about, she's fun. So, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, that ain't me.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was like. That's probably why you never heard of her, because you're like, man, I got shit to figure out, and I got got to track down all this, conspiracies and find all the players, and meanwhile she's like, so what do you guys think about the Kardashians and stuff like that? You're like, I don't give a fuck about that. That's just a psyop. It's just to distract you from the uniparty controlling you, and so. Anyways, my voice is toast. So once again, Kung Flu wins again. Thanks, Winnie the Pooh. Thanks, Fauci.
The blessings, dude.
Thanks, CCP and the DNC. They're the same people. They control the same shit. So thanks, bros, for getting me sick and wrecking my voice box, because now I can't talk. So mission accomplished. It was a psyop all along, Daryl Jack. You and me, TML, need to figure out how the lizard people convinced the CCP to fuck up my voice box. But anyway, it's fun. Like I said, I like to conspiracy theory every once in a while, but again, it's mostly evil retards. The only conspiracy theories are the slightly less retarded ones that run the show, like the deep state. They're not that smart. They're just well connected. They got all the money and the networking and shit like that. So, oh, Browns boy, did you get kicked out of Flo's panel? You always have a home here, bro. All Flo rejects are welcome here, because I was once a Flo reject myself because I asked too many questions. And he doesn't like deep shit either. He's just there for the grift. He's there to grift the simp streams and the auditors or whatever the flavor of the week is. I love when he reviews my shit. Like, dude, just come over here if you want to talk to me. And you're welcome to come on my panel. So, or at least you were, but because I'm shutting it down. He's definitely not coming for the religion panels. I'll tell you that right now. Spoilers. He used to be a Baptist, but then he quit because they had too many rules or something. So now he's an atheist. He's a butthurt atheist, just like the rest of them. So,
who, Flo or
yeah,
Browns boy? Oh,
Flo. That's why he doesn't like me, because I used to get into religion stuff, and he doesn't like to talk about religion. So that's why I was like, okay, that's fine. We don't have to talk about that stuff. We can just talk about Ancapistan. He says he's an ANCAP, but I'm still not sure about that. I don't hear a lot of ANCAP passion in the things he talks about. So he sounds more like a disgruntled Republican or something like that. He's like, I'm not really an ANCAP. I think that our current government is shit, which I think most people agree with anyway. So that's not that deep. I don't know. I don't remember him getting enough into it to really hear his true thoughts and feelings. But anyways, he's fun for the drama whoring and the drama slutting. So if that's your cup of tea, he'll hook you up. All right, TML, you know where to find me, and I know where to find you. So be prepared when you suddenly get raided by Emperor Phi, because I'm bringing religion with me, and we're gonna talk about shit. So
For sure, for sure.
prepare your
brother.
anus. I'm coming in dry. All right.
All right.
All right. It's been fun, dude. I'll catch you later, bro.
For sure. Peace, homie.
All right, later, dude. And that was Phi's final drama bullshit stream. Catch me on the next stream when we talk about the final nail in the coffin for libertarianism. We hardly knew ye. Alas, poor Dave Smith. Anyways, after that, I'm done with politics, and then all that's left is the one true church, which subscribes to the one true religion, which worships the one true God. Me and my co-host Daisy May are going to give you all of the answers to the most complex questions in the universe. Why are we here? What is the purpose of life? If you want to know, stay tuned in to iFi on YouTube. Catch y'all later. Have fun. Peace out, bros.